You too. Get it together. All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to the living Elohim. In the name of Yahushua HaMashiach this day. We're going to pick this up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and there they which testify of me. And you will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. If another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you. The Abba, there's one that accused you, even Moses, and whom you trust. If I had believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writing, how shall you believe my words? What's good, my G? I'm chilling, man. I pray everything good on your side, my G. Let's come over here to give all esteem and praise to Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua. Amen. Shalom, brother brothers, man. Let's go on over here, man. Hit this Psalms 145, man. I got some work for you. And I got some work for you based off the conversation that we had with that gentleman on Wednesday night, man. But, you know, fringes seem to be a touchy topic for many of brew. You know what I'm talking about? It's a couple of them left comments on videos we done did in the past when people ask questions about it. You know what I mean? Psalms 145 and 8. Shalom, Mother Shalom. I ain't impressed by the Civic. Boy, you done quit? That nigga Civic done quit. Ain't put in no 2 week notice. That's right. I know it's so ain't no trying, man. You is gonna do good. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, you is gonna do good, man. Ain't no trying. That's what you're gonna do. You know what I'm talking about? But I'm gonna tell y'all right now, I really don't care. Like, brother, be pressed about that, man. I don't really. It ain't that serious for me, man. You know what I'm saying? It ain't that serious, bro. Not by that. Not by that. Shalom, brother Marcus, man. You bro. Why you come over here doing that? Shalom, brother Ellis. Shalom, brother Dimitri. Go sit down, Joanne. Come on, sit down. Go sit down. Go on, sit down. You know what I'm talking about? Psalm 145 and 8. Yahuwah, gracious, full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. Shalom, Caleb, man. Yahuwah good to all, and his tender mercies over all his works. All your works shall praise you, O Yahuwah, and your sake shall bless you. They shall speak of your esteem, speak of the esteem of your kingdom, and talk of your power, to make known to the sons of Adam his mighty acts, and the esteemed majesty of his kingdom. Your kingdom and everlasting kingdom, your dominion throughout all generations. So remember, I want you to keep your focus that you're supposed to be speaking of the esteem of his kingdom. You can't build his kingdom and speak of the esteem of it at the same time. If you're speaking of the esteem of his kingdom, that means the kingdom is already built. You know what I'm talking about? It's already built. On top of that, I don't believe that that's what we're doing. We're not speaking of this man's kingdom. We're not talking of his power, nor are we making mention of his mighty acts, nor of the esteemed majesty of his kingdom. That is not what's going down. We're talking about natural things. We focused on natural things, and that's why we're natural people. But before I proceed, I didn't want to say this here, and these gentlemen know who it is, man, because what I had something to deal with, man, and I ain't gonna lie to you, it ministered to my spirit that it was gonna be handled just like how it was gonna be handled, and I ain't know how it was gonna be handled. And shoot, let's stand and say he had the same type of situation. So all praise to Elohim and Shamahim for it. But I want to show y'all something in Acts 26, because in my mind, what went down with that is exactly not 26. I'm sorry, it's 20. It's 27. 27:13. Matter of fact, 27:13 fine, because you're gonna have to need the context. You know what I'm talking about? Shalom, sis. You know what I'm talking about? So, for certain, 2 things for sure, man. We could be in situations and circumstances, and you may not even realize, man, be like, boy, I don't know how you who are gonna pull that off. And he'll let you. Matter of fact, let me show you this here. Come over here to John 14 real quick. I ain't got that page in my book. Let me just do this here. Come over here to John 14, man. I made sure that what I want. Yeah. John 14, man. You can come to verse 27. You know what I'm talking about? And then we'll come back to this Act 27:13. Say, shalom, I leave with you. My shalom, bro. My shalom I give unto you, not as the world give I unto you. Let not your heart be troubled, neither let it be afraid. You have heard how I said unto you, I go away and come unto you. If you love me, you would rejoice because I said I go to my Abba, for my Abba is greater than I. And now I have told you before it came to pass, that when it come to pass, you might believe. See, there's some things that could be ministered to your spirit, and they could be ministered to you before it even happened. So that when it happened, you know that he is the living Elohim. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Man, them smoke detector battery die so fast, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. I be so zoned out on what I be doing. I don't even be hearing nor focus on it. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying? But Yahuwah Baruch, bro. You know what I'm talking about? But check it. That's one of the essence why we only talk to you about faith, talk to you about the mercy of Elohim, the graciousness of Elohim, and the power of Elohim that he's bestowed upon us. You know what I'm talking about? To become the sons of Elohim, which is an element of his kingdom. What's good, my G? Shoot, you already know what it is. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of our people, that's why we don't got no power with God, man, because you don't believe in God. And that was the aspect of kind of what we were talking about when we were speaking with a gentleman about them fringes. And I'm going to go into a little bit more detail when it comes to a few things. You know what I'm talking about? Because I'm telling you, what we were talking about on Wednesday, man, what I done told y'all in the past, having that spirit of Cain, so you're going to go to hell, man, because you want to give him what you want to give him. And you want to serve him how you want to serve him instead of doing what he told you to do. One of the biggest problems that these people has is you think, we done went over this before. Some of y'all remember, you can go check the Daniel chapter 12 playlist. That's by the grace of Elohim. That's why we started doing them playlists. Garrett, what's good, my G? When I realized that I could put that together, because I looked at it before, but it ain't never popped in my mind to do it. But that verse in Daniel chapter 12, when he said that if this won't be over until he accomplished to scatter the power of the Kadash people, I'm chilling, my G. Well, that man mean that. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, and I know a lot of brews don't want to hear this. As long as this heaven that you can go outside and look at, and this earth that you walking on, these people ain't never gonna have no power. You ain't gonna never have no rule. You ain't gonna never have no riches. You ain't gonna never have nothing. You know what I'm talking about? And if you think that you do, and you think that you can produce that, then just know that Yahuwah not gonna be with you, bro. Just know that. You ain't got to agree with it. Search the text. Search the text and see for yourself, man. See, we got the same mentality that your forefathers had when they asked for Saul to be their king. You don't want Yahuwah to rule over you. You want what the nations want. This man told you in Proverbs chapter 3, don't envy your oppressor and choose none of his ways. And you ain't got the mind that's in Hebrew chapter 11, man. You know, I read y'all Hebrew chapter 11 a lot. It's a reason for that, man. You know what I'm talking about? It's a reason for that. That's not to say that you ain't going to be able to do things in this life. But if you think that this people as a whole is going to have some type of rule, power, and authority on this earth, you ain't been reading the book. You ain't been reading the book. Because it don't say that. Nowhere. That man say this people going to be persecuted. That man say this people going to be killed. That's what it say. That's not my personal opinion because I'm not invested in either or. I'm invested in what the book say. And what the problem is Yahuwah is not enough for this people. Yahuwah is not enough. He wasn't enough for your forefathers during the time of Samuel when they asked for Saul, and he ain't enough for you now. You know what I'm talking about? Because you want money, you want land, you want this, you want that, but you don't want him. Let me tell y'all something, man. I ain't gonna lie to you, right? It's a lot of people teach the word all over the world. But boy, we need more people teaching the word. But this is the difference. We need people that Yahuwah sent to teach it. Because these people don't know the word, man. And boy, I'm telling you, if you don't know the word, boy, you going to hell. You going to hell. I don't care what you talking about. I don't care what these niggas out here talking about. Boy, if you don't know the word, boy, you going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? That man said those who don't know the law are cursed. See, knowing the law ain't just knowing you don't eat pork chops. Love your neighbor. No, that ain't just to play, man. Know is to know Elohim by experience. Well, I'm here to tell you, man, it's a lot of people don't know this book, and it's obvious. It's painfully obvious that these niggas are woefully inept. Woefully inept. I'm talking about unadulterated trash, pure basuda. I'm talking about false prophets, unrighteous meters of the word, and we love it. And you think you're going to get in off bad work. But you're not getting in off that, bro. Let me tell y'all something, man. Y'all know what Proverbs 4:7 say. I want one of you good brothers or one of you good sisters. I want one of y'all on YouTube or Clubhouse. I want you to find me Proverbs chapter 4, verse 7 and post it on this stream or post it on this Clubhouse room. I'll say it out loud, but I want one of y'all to do that for me, please. It's the reason why I'm asking y'all to do this here, because I want you to see something. I just need somebody to post Proverbs 4:7 for me. Okay, say it, got it in there. And Darius just put it there. And what does it say? Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. What with all your getting, that man say get benay, get understanding. Don't y'all know in Romans chapter 1, this man said, if you without understanding, you worthy of death. Don't you know if you ain't got no, don't you know this man said there's no searching for his understanding? Don't you know that it said Yahushua open their understanding that they might understand the scriptures, and you niggas don't want the word? How you gonna get understanding? Shalom, Jay. You ain't finna get no understanding planting no crops. You ain't gonna get no understanding getting no money. You ain't gonna get no understanding building no house. That's not where the understanding come from. Boy, we just talked about this last week, man, in that book of Job, man. He said inspiration come from the Almighty and understanding come from him. Boy, if you ain't got understanding, you're going to hell. How you gonna get understanding, man, if you don't know the word, bro? How you gonna beat the devil when you don't know the word? I shared a post that my man shared, man. Y'all know in the epistle of James, in chapter 2, it say the devils believe and tremble. Some of y'all seen the post. In the post, it said that the one sin the devil didn't commit was not to believe in God. And you don't even realize that's the biggest sin that all Israel commit. Even the devil wasn't stupid enough not to believe in Yahuwah. But this people don't. And you think you somebody because you got fringes on. You think you somebody because you can build a doggone house. You think you somebody because you don't eat pork. You don't even believe in God, nigga. The devil wasn't stupid enough to do that. How you gonna sit back and say something, boy, and the devil greater than you when it comes to faith? Now ask yourself, that's a serious matter right there. How the devil greater than you in faith, man? Man, when them unclean spirits seen Yahushua, they went to trembling. They say, we know who you are. You the son of Elohim. You come to torment us before the time? And you got these goofy cornball backwards, knock-knee head niggas, man, telling you that you a Christian because you talking about faith and worrying about believing in God. Them niggas going to hell, man. Man, the devil ain't stupid enough to tell you not to believe in Yahuwah. He believe in Yahuwah. He know Yahuwah is real. Come on, man. Come on, man. We got to be real with ourselves, man. Acts 27:13. And when the south wind blew softly, supposing that they had obtained purpose, losing, they sailed close by Crete. But not long after, there arose against it a tempestuous wind called Euroclydon. And when the ship was caught and could not bear up into the wind, we let drive. And running a certain island, which is called Clauda, we had much work to come by the boat, which when they had taken up, they used helps, ungirding the ship, fearing lest they should fall into quicksand, strike sail, and so were driven. And we being exceedingly tossed with tempest, the next they lightened the ship. See, there's a passage in Acts in Hebrews 12. I want to share it with you. He said when the third day, and they said when they were exceedingly tossed with a tempest, the next day they lightened the ship. See, a lot of people gonna go down and drown, boy, because you got too much cargo on your ship, man. See, a lot of people believe that's how Aaliyah died. They were too much stuff on the plane. Probably was. But see, that's how a lot of people gonna go to hell, because you're carrying too much weight. Hebrews 12:1, listen to it. Wherefore, seeing we're also compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which do easily beset, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. Looking unto Yahushua, the author and finisher of faith, who for the joy that was set before him endured the state, despising the shame, is set down at the right hand of the throne of Elohim. For consider him that endured such contradiction of sinners against himself, lest you be weary and faint in your mind. See, you're going to have to get that weight off your ship, man. It's weighing you down. Why is it weighing? Notice when he say that tempest came, this said, take you to those who built their house upon a rock. See, when you built your house upon a rock, remember he said, come unto me, all you that are heavy laden, and I'll give you rest and lay your burdens down. See, these people ain't laying nothing down. Man, we playing games out here. Joanne, you want to come over here with me? Then hush your mouth. We playing games out here, man. I'm going to tell you something right now, man. Somebody with faith going to be the old law screamer. Somebody with faith going to be the old we Israelite screamer. They going to beat you. Because they got something that you won't have, and that's the power of God. Every person in this book who had faith in Yahuwah had the power of Elohim. Every one of them. You can't find one who didn't. And you don't even pick up on that when you read in the text, that's where they got their power from. That's where they got their strength from. You don't even pay attention to that. Because you focused on natural things because you think that make you strong and that make you great. And you're going to find yourself cut off from God. Acts 27, man, verse 18, one more time. She's tired, y'all. And we being exceedingly tossed with a tempest, the next, they lighten the ship. And the third, we cast with our own hands the tackling of the ship. And when neither sun nor stars in many days appeared and no saw tempest lay on, all hope that we should be saved was then taken away. But after the long abstinence, Paul stood forth in the midst of them and said, Sirs, you should have hearkened unto me and have not loosed from Crete to have gained this harm and loss. And now I exhort you to be of good cheer, for there shall be no loss of life among you, but of the ship. For there stood by me this night the Malachim of Elohim, whose I am and whom I serve, saying, Fear not, Paul, you must be brought before Caesar. And lo, Elohim have given you all them that sail with you. Wherefore, sirs, be of good cheer, for I believe Elohim that it shall be even as it was told of me. See, that's what you got to understand when you read the word, man. That's what you got to understand if he ministers something to your spirit, man. The same way he told it to you, you got to believe that that's how it's going to get done. You may not understand how it's going to get done. You may not be able to see how it's going to get done, but you better bet your black behind it's going to get done. Don't you know that book saying Romans 14 and 23, man, anything that's not a faith is sin? Do you understand how many lose in sin every day because they don't trust in God? Because they don't believe in God? We don't even really understand that, man. You don't understand what you ain't supposed to put nothing before faith. Faith come first because faith is a Elohim. If anybody tell you that faith is not important, they not of God. Walk away from them. Walk away from them. They stupid, spiritually and mentally. That's where the power of God. Ask yourself, where did the power of God come for Moses to pull off what he pulled off? Don't you realize Yahuwah was snapping on him because he was doubting? When you would read Exodus 4, Yahuwah went off on this man because he was doubting. Why you think, what you think, mate? You thought Noah was great because he was just great? That man was great because he believed in God. Man, this man told him something before it happened and he moved because he believed just as he told it to him. That's what was going to happen. What you think made Jacob great? What you think made Abraham great? It's a literal testimony that Abraham is the love of Yahuwah. He is friend because he believed in it. Do you got that witness in heaven, man? And if you don't, what you gonna do about it? See, we go back and forth and we can be like, I got these precepts, I got these doctrines, I'm out here doing this and doing that, and you bereft of faith. You ain't even a son of God. You can't become a son of God by what you do with natural hands, boy. You can't become that. And you ain't got no book for it. That's your personal opinion. Who gives a damn about your personal opinion? Man, we just talked about that Wednesday, man. And we done talked about it plenty of times over the years. I cannot impart upon y'all enough for you to understand that this is life and death. This ain't no nation. This ain't no culture. This ain't no heritage. This is life and death. And the minute that you begin to understand this is life and death, then maybe your service to Yahuwah will be greater. Because this is life and death, man. This is not a game. This is not a joke. Your life is on the line. You know what I'm talking about? Your life is. Let me show you something in Acts chapter 3, man. Then I'll come over here to the Hebrews 11, man. Then I'll get on to what I desire to touch on this evening, man. Acts chapter 3, man. I want to say verse 14. We'll see when we get there. No. We only do we need verse 14? Sure we do. We can take it and make it verse 11 on general principle. And the lame man which was held Peter and John, and all the people ran together unto them in the porch that is called Solomon's, greatly wondering. And when Peter saw, he answered and said unto the people, you men of Yasharal, why you marvel at this? Or why you look so earnestly on us, as though by our own power or Kadash we made this man walk? Shalom, Brother Nate. The Elohim of Abraham and of Isaac and of Jacob, the Elohim of our fathers, have esteemed his son Yahushua, whom you delivered up and denied him in the presence of Pilate, when he was determined to let go. But you denied the Kadash one and the just, and desired a murderer to be granted unto you, and killed the Prince of Life, whom Elohim raised from the dead, whereof we are witnesses. In his name, through faith in his name, have made this man strong, whom you see and know. Yea, the faith which is by him have given him this perfect soundness in the presence of you all. And now, brethren, I walk that through ignorance you did, as also your rulers. But those things which Elohim before had showed by the mouth of all his prophets, that a Mashiach should suffer, he hath so fulfilled. Repent you therefore and be converted, that your sins may be blotted out, when the times of refreshing shall come from the presence of the Lord. And when he shall send Yahushua HaMashiach, which was preached unto you, which before was preached unto you, whom Shamahim must receive until the times of restitution of all things, which Elohim has spoken by the mouth of all his Kadash prophets since the world began. Boy, it's the day of restitution coming, boy. Let me tell y'all something, man, because I know a lot of brews believe this here, man. Ain't nothing you can do to get you out this situation, man. There's nothing that these people can do to get you saved. There's nothing that you can do. Absolutely nothing. This is all Yahuwah's timing, man. You can't move him to do nothing before he gonna do it. This man has already sent forth the word. He says it's going to fulfill what he sent it to do. He going to fulfill all his purpose, man. Let me tell y'all something, man. This man power got to be made known in the earth. Delivering us from our enemies is a light matter. It's a light matter. That's not even that deep. That's not even that complex. But you ain't understanding that you done disrespected and blasphemed this man's name from one end of the earth to the other. To where these people don't believe that this man is a mighty man of power, the living Elohim who has dominion, rule, and authority throughout all the earth and over all men. And he got to manifest that and show that. You think it's about delivering you. It's about sanctifying the great name of Yahuwah, you goofy. Because every knee gonna bow and every tongue gonna confess that he is Elohim. And your eyes gonna see it. You understand me? This bigger than you, man. This ain't got nothing to do with you. You a bit player in this story, man, but we don't even think about the fact you got this man named Dirty in the earth. This man got to bust heads, man. He got to part scalps out here, man. That man got to make his righteousness known. These people got to understand his power, his terror, his dread, his greatness. They got to see it. They got to feel it and understand it, man. They got to understand, boy, you underfoot to me or you going to die today. Oh, yeah. I don't care how much we pray. You ain't leaving till it's time. I don't care how many of us keep commandment. You ain't leaving till it's time. The story been told, man. The man done told you how it's going down. See, you want to think that you can influence God to do something he ain't said he wasn't going to do. That man going to do what he want to do, man, how he want to do it. Who you think you is, man? You know why a lot of us want to believe that? Because you don't want your faith to get tested. You don't want nobody to see that you don't really believe in God. You don't want nobody to see you ain't willing to go to jail for the word. You don't want nobody to see that you willing to get beat for the word. You don't want nobody to see you willing to die for the word, because that's how much you believe it. That's how much you trust it. That's how much hope you got in the reward. You don't want nobody to see that you really capping and faking. That's why he said that what we read Wednesday in John 6, he already know those that don't believe. He already know. Y'all don't realize the majority, there's going to be more people who don't believe than the people who do. Oh, praise God, bro. Don't y'all realize that? It's more people who don't believe than the people who do. A lot of people don't want to get tested, man. You know what I'm talking about? You don't want to get proved out that you are who you say you are. You know what I'm talking about? I've been telling you, man, the hallmark of a man's adversity and trials and tribulation. That's when you get to see what's willing in their heart. You don't see what's in somebody's heart when things are good. It's easy to say you trust in God when things are good. Everybody say that because you can't get exposed. Let things be a little bumpy. You seen what Paul just said. These boys thought they were finna die. Yahuwah son of Malachim to Paul to comfort him and say, be easy, baby. Ain't nothing gonna happen. Paul said, well, shoot, boy. As he was told to me, I believe that wasn't gonna happen. I believe that wasn't gonna happen. Because I trust in him, even in the midst of this ship getting tossed to and fro, and us tossing everything off of it, and everybody thinking we finna die. I trust God gonna do what he said he gonna do. We ain't got that kind of mind, man. Definitely do say that. You ain't told no lie. We ain't got that kind of mind, man. We capping and pump faking, and you know it too. Man, I told E this the other day. I told Will this the other day. I told Trad this the other day. Man, when I first came in this word, man, I'm talking about with my homeboy. You know what I'm talking about? I ain't talking about when I say I'm talking about my real friend, man, to this day, 30 years. You understand me? I said, boy, we both had a conversation, man. We were looking at that word, man. I said, yeah, boy, we gonna die for this. We had already made our mind up, boy. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and die for this. Because you know why? Because we were willing to die in the street, but not for a neighborhood, or not for a set, but for respect and for my nigga, for my brother, who the man who I say I love. I die for this man. You understand me? So when we coming in the word, bro, we looking at Yahuwah the same way. We looking at Yahushua the same way. Well, I'm going to die for this man, bro. I'm riding with him. I'm down with him. If I got to die behind the word, then so be it. Because as far as I'm concerned, dying for the word is the same as dying for my respect. Boy, I live by this. This is the code that I live by, man. I stand on this. And if I got to lose my life, then so be it. You know what I'm talking about? Then so be it. And the people I met, I told them the other day, I said, boy, these niggas gonna kill me, man. I already know that. Man, I can't be around all these brews. Man, them niggas gonna kill me, man. I'm not on what they own, and I'm not finna say what they want me to say or kick it how they want me to kick it so I can be accepted to them. I ain't doing it. You know what I'm talking about? You could call me making whatever you want to call it. Boy, I'm not doing it. Boy, I'm standing on the word. If you offended, nigga, grow some nuts. Lord God, nigga, get yourself together and repent. Boy, I'm not trying to be down, bro. I'm trying to promote the greatness and the esteem of the living Elohim, bro. And if that offends you, I don't care. Because I'd rather be offended. I'd rather offend men than offend God, boy. You understand me? That's what Peter told them, boy. Hey, man, it's better for us to fear God than man. I don't fear you niggas, man. What you gonna do to me? Boy, I've been ready to die, boy. I've been resolved in my mind, boy. I've been ready for that. So I don't care nothing about that, man. What is that? But a state of sleep? You threatening me with sleep, nigga? That's how you got to view it. You threatening me with sleep. I'll kill you. So you threatening me with sleep. See, the only way you can have that type of mind is that you believe that Yahushua is the life and the resurrection, and whosoever believes in him shall never taste death. That's the only way you can have that mindset. You can't threaten me with sleep, bro. That's all you're doing. If you say you're killing me, you threatening me with sleep. Shoot, I'm ready to go. I've been ready to lay down. I'm tired, nigga. What you talking about? People don't want to hear that. Come on to Hebrews 11. I'm in Revelation. My bad. That's not the page I want. Don't pay me no mind. I'm going to come to that right there. Hebrews 11, man. I want verse 8, man. Hebrews 11:8. Check it. By faith, Abraham, when he was called to go out into a place which he should receive for an inheritance, obeyed. He went out, not knowing whither he went. By faith, he sojourned in the land of promise as a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. You know what's wrong with us, man? Your forefather dwelt in the land of promise as a stranger and didn't complain, cry, moan, day and day. And all you niggas do is cry. All you niggas do is cry. This man made a promise to them men, and them men dwelt in the land that was theirs as a stranger and endured to get the promise every day. Never cried, talking about when we gonna get it. Why we gotta do this? They ain't never do that. Man, they were so focused on Yahuwah, they ain't give a damn about them people around them and what they had going on. They were focused on God and what God promised. They knew he was faithful to that promise. We be worrying about the wrong thing. Man, I don't give a damn what these white folk got going on. I don't give a damn what these Arabs got going on. I don't give a damn what these Hamites got going on. Boy, I am not finna go anywhere on this earth and willingly subject myself to any other man or government if Yahuwah is not a part of it. And when I say Yahuwah being a part of it, I mean Yahuwah ruling in it, man. I'm talking about him sitting on the throne of David, man. I ain't talking about some flesh and blood man who gonna go to the grave talking about we represent Yahuwah. Because boy, let me tell you something, boy, ain't a single solitary government on earth rep Yahuwah. And they ain't gonna do it. And if you think they're going to do it, you stupid in the brain. And if you think these people going to give us their governments to rule over them, you stupid in the brain. Who the hell going to give power to somebody else to rule over them, man? Who going to do that? You can't be that stupid as a man to think somebody going to do that. But I know why we think we going to do that. Because you stupid niggas done gave your wife power to rule over you in your own damn house. So it'd be easy for you to think somebody would be as simpish and goofy as you is. Because you quick to let this woman rule over you and tell you what to do and how to move. You ain't thinking like a man. Men don't give up power. You the only people who gave up power. You had the power of God and you gave it up to be like sinners. Now this man that gave you greater power to become a son of God and you don't want it. You want the power these people got. Who give a damn what they got and what they got going on? This man promised you something greater. Why you ain't talking about that? Why you always talking about what these goddamn people got and what they doing? Why you doing that? Why you ain't talking about what this man promised you? Because you don't believe it, that's why. Hebrews 11:9. By faith he sojourned in the land of promise, a strange country, dwelling in tabernacles with Isaac and Jacob, the heirs with him of the same promise. For he looked for a city without with which has foundations, whose builder and maker Elohim. Are you looking for a city whose builder and maker is the Elohim? Is that a city you looking for? Because that's the only city I'm looking for, man. Hold on, let me read you something in Psalm 137, man. Let me just read y'all something in Psalm 137, man. Come on to Psalm 137, verse 5. That's what I want. I just want verse 5 and 6, man. We come right back where we was at. He said, if I forget you, O Jerusalem, let my right hand forget. If I do not remember you, let my tongue cleave to the roof of my mouth. If I prefer not Jerusalem above my chief joy. Do you prefer Jerusalem above your chief joy, man? I ain't talking about Jerusalem that you can see over there. I'm talking about Jerusalem that's coming down from Shamahim, from Abba, boy. I'm talking about an eternal inheritance, man. I'm talking about an eternal dominion, man. You hold that as your chief joy, man? Because if you don't, you going to hell. You know what I'm talking about? Because that means you don't believe in the promise of God, but you going to hell. See, I'm different than most of these other groups. I'll look you in the face and tell you, but if you're moving, thinking, acting like this, you're going to hell. That's the problem with Mo Brew, man. They ain't going to tell you you're going to hell. All they want to tell you about is the destruction of the nation. That's why you can't get out your sin. Because they focused on sinners. What the hell we talking about them people for? Why you so focused on them people, man? We already know what they're going to get. They're going to lose rule, authority, and power. And if they don't come under the subjection of Yahuwah, then they're going to die. And then they're going to go to hell. But see, that's not what he's dealing with you on. He wants you to get right before he get here. Because if not, you dying with him. And then you're going to go to hell with him. Now, why would you do that? When you got an opportunity to live and become like Elohim, why would you do that? Why does that make sense to you? Why are you playing with sin? Why are you playing with unbelief? Why are you doing that? It don't make sense. None of it makes any sense. And we do it every day. And the thing is, right, let me tell you something, right? Just so you don't know, just so you know, right? People who really got faith in God can see the people who don't. See, you can get exposed. See, this is the difference between people who got faith in God and those who don't. They don't have the need to run around and point fingers and say, he don't believe. Ain't nobody got time to do all that. It's evident and it's seen. You see it and you move accordingly. That's what it means to be wise as serpents and harmless as a dove. You ain't got to point it out and scream out and expose this and expose that. These niggas expose themselves every day. They expose themselves in how they live. They expose themselves in their conversation. They expose themselves in the things that they delight in. And if you have understanding, then you're going to see that and be like, hey, man, it's what it is. And you just keep it pushing. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You know what I'm talking about? I can't save you and you can't save me. That ain't got nothing to do with me. It ain't even my job. See, you know, a lot of our brothers and sisters, man, you know, that's the term, you know, especially you dealing with that street preaching. We got to wake our people up. Wake them up from what? What you waking them up from? One of the first things I used to hear dudes, we got to wake them up to their nationality. That ain't what the book said to do. He said, awake you that sleepeth. And the Mashiach could give you light. And Elohim is light. And in him was the light. And the light is the life of men. So we're supposed to be waking up people to everlasting life. Waking somebody up to their nationality, that nigga's still dead. You just woke them up to flesh. So you woke them up. That nigga ain't woke, he's still asleep. Your nationality is not the light of Elohim, man. That's not what this book say. That's not what this book say. That's not what this book say. But as I told you before, a lot of people don't value the word. Y'all willing, man? You know, we just left the Fringe Fest, man. You know, the music festival, the concert deal, you know what I'm talking about, last week. And you who are willing, we plan on doing the same thing down here. But see, this is going to be the difference. I don't know what they did Friday and Saturday because I wasn't there. But if we do something here, I'm letting you know it's centered around the word. So just like we have service every Friday night, it'll be a service that Friday night. Just like we got service every Saturday afternoon, it'll be a service that Saturday afternoon. It might be earlier than usual. Yeah, we'll have a concert. We can hang out, but it's by that word. Because you know what we come for? We here for the word, bro. We here for the word, bro. You know what I'm talking about? If you ain't got a love for the word and want the word and desire the word to get understanding of the word, I'm going to tell you this trap house ain't for you. This trap house ain't for you. This trap house ain't for you. No, we can talk about other stuff, but I'm going to talk about that off camera. Because when the camera come on, man, well, it's about the word, bro. That's what we about, man. We about the word, bro. I don't need nothing else but the word, because if I got the word, I got God. The word of Yahuwah is eternal. It can never be destroyed. That means if the word in me and I'm in the word, I can't die. I need the word, bro. I don't need no land. I don't need no money. I don't need no houses. I don't need no cars. I don't need no rule and authority in these people's earth. I don't need none of that. I just need the word. That's the only thing I need. If I'm stressed, that's the only thing gonna give me comfort in the word. If I'm low, the only thing gonna lift me up is the word. If I'm in pain, the only thing gonna heal me is the word. You understand? That's if I'm dead, the only thing gonna give me life is the word. Everything I need, I gotta get it from the word. That means I gotta get it from Yahuwah. And if I ain't got the word, I ain't got Yahuwah. It don't make sense to not want the word and say you want Yahuwah. Because if you don't want the word like that and you say you want Yahuwah, you a bold-faced liar. You're a bold-faced liar. You lying to me, you're lying to yourself. You ain't lying to him. He already knew you were lying. See, when you got a hunger, that's why that man said if you hunger and thirst after righteousness, meaning faith, you're going to be filled with faith. And out of your belly will flow rivers of living water. We don't want that, man. We playing real live games out here, bro. And your life on the line, man. I told y'all Wednesday, man. Some of y'all ain't never looked death in his eyes. In my lifetime, man, I done looked death in his eyes 4 times. 4 times, man. I told you, boy, you ever had a man put a gun in your face, man? You not understand that man got his life in your hands, man? That man pulled that trigger, you done. You can't do nothing about that. Man, the first time I looked death in the face, boy, I was 7 years old, boy. And I knew I was finna die. I just relaxed and let it go. I said it wasn't no sense of fighting it. At least if you're going to go peacefully. It was only by the grace of God that somebody seen me and got me before I drowned. You know what I'm talking about? But I hadn't already seen it. Well, you finna die. You might as well just go ahead and relax and just let it go. Man, when you done look death in the face, man, and you understand how serious that is, man, when life come tapping on your shoulder and say, come follow me, you have a greater appreciation for it. See, you don't have an appreciation for your God because you don't understand that you was a dead man or woman walking. And this man came and said, I got something for you. It's life. And you don't value that. You value everything else. You value your nationality. You value what you can show outwardly to people, that what you think who are giving you. But the one thing that can't be quantified in any natural substance, everlasting life, you don't value that. And the reason why you don't value it is because you don't believe in God. Because if you believed in him, then you would value the gift that he was giving to you. You would understand that you ain't even have to do nothing to earn it. All you had to do was believe, and he'll give it to you. That's all you had to do. Because the just live by their faith. So you're going to live according to what he promised you. That what a lot of brews on when you talking about faith. What about the commandment? Slap yourself upside the head for being stupid. Because if you trust in Elohim and you believe in his steadfastness and faithfulness, don't you think you're going to live according to the promise so you can get it? Every last one of y'all, more than likely, when you was in school, your parents told you if you made certain grades, they would give you X amount of dollars. You couldn't see them dollars. You didn't know if they really were going to give you them dollars, but because you trusted in the faithfulness of your parents, you labored in order to receive that promise. You don't understand that the word is the same thing? You're laboring towards receiving a promise because you respect the recompense of the reward. We don't respect the recompense of the reward. Hold on. Derek said, I done heard people justify their faithlessness, talking about faith is a gift, giving different measures, talking about your faith stronger than mine. Yet another misinterpretation from lack of understanding, I suppose. Now, don't get it wrong now. Some people is weaker in faith than others. But those who are stronger in faith, it's your job to support those that are weak. Just like what he told Peter, when you converted, strengthen your brethren. You can't make nobody strong in faith without giving them the word. You can't get strong in faith without the word, y'all. I hate to be the one to tell you. You need the word to get strong. You need the word to get strong. You can't get strong no other way. You can't get strong no other way. It's no other way. It's no other way. And we don't like to hear that because you got to trust in him whom you can't see. And you got to labor towards a promise which you can't see. But Abraham did it. Why you think Yahushua told them people, man, if you be Abraham's seed, you do the works of Abraham. You Abraham's seed. When you steady screaming you an Israelite, you steady screaming you Abraham's seed. Do you do the works of Abraham? Because if you do the works of Abraham, shut your mouth. Hebrews 11:10. For he looked for a city which had foundations, whose builder and maker Elohim. Through faith also Sarah herself received strength to conceive seed, and was delivered of a child when she was past age, because she judged him faithful who had promised. Therefore sprang there even of one, and him as good as dead, as the stars of the sky and multitude, and as the sand of the sea, which is by seashore innumerable. Now, I don't got the time to do it tonight, but you can see this here, right? This is a witness of Yahushua when you're dealing with Isaac, his forefather. Therefore sprang one who was good as dead, because Sarah's womb was dead. Abraham was asked to offer up his only begotten son, and then there became as the stars in the sky of multitude by seashore innumerable, springing from this one man. Springing from Isaac, therefore springing from the seed of the promise, springing from not seeds of many, but seeds of one, that seed being a Mashiach, and therefore you can become a son of Elohim. See, let's pause for a moment, and let's consider something. Do you want to be of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, or do you want to be of the seed of Elohim? Because there is a difference. Now, y'all know we don't never need no excuse to read Isaiah 59:20, but there is a difference. There's a difference between being the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and being the seed of Elohim. There is a difference. Those who are the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are not automatically the seed of Elohim. And you can be the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob and go straight to hell. But nobody who's of the seed of Elohim will perish. Hush your mouth. Let's look at verse 13, Hebrews 11. And these all died in faith, not having received the promises, but having seen them afar off, and were persuaded and embraced and confessed that they were strangers and pilgrims on the earth. For they that say such things declare plainly that they seek a country. And truly, if they had been mindful of that from whence they came out, they might have had opportunity to have returned. But now they desire a better, that is of Shamahim. Wherefore Elohim is not ashamed to be called their Elohim, for he hath prepared for them a city. You know what I'm talking about? See, we know that our Maker has prepared for us a city. We desire that. We desire that. Everybody may not desire that, but we desire that. That's what we need. It's nothing else greater than that. Because if it's a city whose builder and maker is Elohim, that means that's who's there. You got to ask yourself, how bad do you want to be with God? Do you even want to be with him? Do you even believe that you can be with him? I want you to come over here to Luke chapter 12. I want you to look at verse 30. Now, I ain't going to read everything, but y'all know what's in Luke 12. It's the same thing in Matthew when they tell you to take no thought for your life. Because a lot of people don't really want to, a lot of people don't like that particular passage. Remember, Shalom, Sister Kelly. Remember, I used to tell you, man, when we were preaching in the street, you know what I'm saying? You used to hit people with that all the time. Or you got to be realistic. Why you don't believe God to care for you? Why if you sit back and you say you'll care for your children, your natural children. I'm talking to the men. I'm not talking to the women. And you know it's your desire to make sure that your children are fed. Make sure your children are clothed. Why you don't think Yahuwah got that same mind for those that belong to him? Why you don't believe that? You knew as a child, you didn't really sit back and think as a child where your food and clothing would come from, unless you lived in abject poverty. You know what I'm talking about? So for the most part, you knew you were going to eat every day. You knew you were going to have clothes on your back. It went until you became of age and you started being around different people as far as economic concern, where you got concerned about what you were wearing and what you was eating, but you had what you needed and it was provided for. Because you didn't need to tell your parents necessarily you needed food. They already knew what you needed before you asked them for it. So you don't think your Father in heaven already know what you got need of before you ask him for it? He already know that. And I mention that because we don't have to be worried about that. The only time you get worried about that, you really don't serve God because you don't believe that he going to provide for you. But what father don't provide for his sons? What father don't do that? When we turn around and say that, we're saying the man a deadbeat. But then we'll turn around and throw in a man's face. If a man don't care for his own, he is an infidel and denied the faith. So you saying Yahuwah infidel and he denied his own word? That he not going to provide for you? That's the type of time we on? And we promote that? And you don't think that that's blasphemous? Come on, man. That's not to say that you can't do X, Y, Z or prepare X, Y, Z, but it don't matter. Well, if you serve God, this book say, I ain't never seen the righteous forsaken or begging for bread. This man say he ain't never abandoned the righteous man. Why would he start now? See, we see that, we'll say it, but you don't believe it. That junk sad into my soul, man. You know what I'm talking about? The lack of faith that these people have in the everlasting Elohim and the righteousness, which is his word, boy. Because we don't believe in it. We don't trust in this man for real. That's why we always had these arguments about submission and all this other type of stuff, man. Because you don't really believe the word, so you want to focus on other things to cover up the fact that you really weak in faith and you're too prideful or you're too ashamed to say, increase my faith, like the men said when the Lord was on the earth. They said increase. Remember we talked about what's in Mark, man, and that man said, according to your faith, let it be done. Now imagine if everything you ever asked from Elohim, that he would minister to your spirit, let it be done according to your faith. If what you asked him for, would it be accomplished? That's a question you got to ask yourself. You ain't got to answer that out loud. If whatever you requested from this man was according to your faith, would it be accomplished? And with most people, it probably wouldn't, because your faith too small. And you think you justify in everything else you doing, that's why that man gonna do something for you. He don't care about what you doing if you don't trust in it. Who would want to be married to a woman who don't trust him? I'm talking to the men. Would you really want a woman laid up next to you that don't trust you? That means she ain't gonna give her all to you. That means she's not gonna fulfill your will because she don't trust you. That means she is of no consequence and no purpose. Not because she is inherently evil per se, I'm talking about on the natural side, but because she don't trust in you. So she can't be a benefit to the fulfilling of your will because she don't trust in you, which means she doesn't have any purpose for you. Now, we this man wife, and we don't trust in him. And then we think he gonna fulfill our desire. Because when you don't trust in him, you don't seek to fulfill that which is pleasing to him. You're going to seek to please yourself and then say this should please you because it pleased me. That's how we live out here, man. We telling this man this should please you because it make me happy. You understand how prideful and selfish that is, man? How you going to look that man in the face and say you ought to take this and this should make you happy because it made me happy? That's the spirit of Cain, man. You trying to give this man what he don't want and tell him that he want it. we don't consider, man. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. Luke 12:28. If then Elohim so clothe the grass which today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more, O you of little faith? And seek not what you shall eat, nor what you shall drink, neither be you of a doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after. Yo, Abba, know that you have need of these things, but rather seek you the malkuf of Elohim, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock. It is your Abba's good pleasure to give you the malkuf. If he gonna give you the malkuf, that means the dominion's already set, and it brings him kafetz, great delight to give you dominion. But how he gonna give you dominion and rule and you don't believe in it? How he gonna give you that? That means you ain't gonna be faithful with it. Now, we were mentioning in Psalms 145, you're supposed to be speaking of his kingdom, his power, his majesty. Let's take a look at it, man. I'm gonna get to that Numbers 15 in a second. You probably need to do it now while it's at the forefront of my mind before I swing to the Daniel 2. But remember what Psalms 145 and 11 say. They shall speak of the esteem of your kingdom and talk of your power, and to make known to the sons of Adam his mighty acts and the esteemed majesty of his kingdom. See, we can't do that without the gospel. Why? What does Isaiah 52 say? To say unto Zion, your Elohim is Malik, that your Elohim has dominion, rule, and power. That's what a part of the gospel is about. That's what it say. That's what's prophesied aforetime. I'll get Isaiah 52:7 for those who don't know what I'm talking about. I just want to get this esteemed majesty real quick. Like, hold on. When we talking about the glorious majesty of his kingdom that we're supposed to be speaking about, right? That is Kabod Hadar. Kabod Hadar Malkuf. The honor, the abundance, the reputation, the reverence, the glory of his splendor. That's what we're supposed to be talking about, man. Isaiah 52:7, man. After that, Numbers 15, man. Because we talked about this Wednesday, we'll go into it some more. We're going to swing to Isaiah 59:22 because I mentioned it. You know, I don't never need to read and go around now. I make it Isaiah 52:3 on general principle. Shoot, I make it 1. Awake, awake, and put on your strength, O Zion, and put on your beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the Kadesh city. For henceforth there shall no more come into you the uncircumcised and the unclean. Pause for a second and come over here to Ephesians, man. I think that's Ephesians that I want. It might be Galatians. You know what I'm talking about? I still need to hit Romans 14:17, but I'm going to get it in a minute. Y'all willing? It's all going to come to pass how it needs to come to pass. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, it's Ephesians 5, man. You know what I mean? And we want... Verse 6, man. Let's start right there. Let no man deceive you with vain words. Well, because of these things come the wrath of Elohim upon the sons of disobedience. Now, of course, it mentions certain carnal activities that individuals are prone to participate in, which will not allow you to come into the dominion of Elohim, which leads to what you heard in Isaiah 52:1, when he say the uncircumcised and the unclean won't enter. And if you think he's talking about uncircumcised in the penis, you sadly mistaken, because you need to go ahead and check Jeremiah 4:4. Where this man told you to circumcise your hearts and cast away the foreskin of your heart. But you know what? We'll read it. Ain't no sense. We'll just look at it. You can examine it for yourself. Verse 7, be not ye therefore partakers with them. Listen, man. You don't need to be fooled up with people who fornicate. What is fornication? Any manner of illicit sexual activity that is enumerated in Leviticus chapter 20. So fornication goes past just having sex with a woman and you're not married. Because in case you didn't know, if you weren't enlightened, of course, you know your law say, and it's a little different now because these women are not virgins, that if you laid with a woman who was a virgin and she wasn't a spouse, then you would have to marry her and pay her father a dowry. Now, contrary to what most brews want to teach out here, if you pay a dowry for a non-virgin, you are an idiot. You know what I'm talking about? That means you need to sit down and hammer out a covenant with the woman who is not a virgin. You paid a dowry because she was a virgin. You were paying to secure purity. You understand? That's what Mashiach did when he left the tokens of his virginity, because he paid for your pureness with his blood. You don't pay for a non-virgin. No one in history who paid dowries paid for non-virgins. Accept it and deal with it. We don't like to hear that because it makes you feel bad because you were excluded. Well, you should feel bad. Like Ezekiel 36 said, you should be ashamed for all your doings. The problem with the people is we don't want to be ashamed for nothing that we've done. See, when you feel ashamed for your conduct, like Paul wrote in that epistle letter in 2 Corinthians about godly repentance. The shame leads to godly repentance. Do you not understand that David got shamed? We can read about, that's our problem. You don't want godly repentance. So you want to try to mix match stuff to cover up, well, I wasn't in the truth then. It don't matter. See, we like to try to make it out, well, what I did before the word don't count. No, it counted. Because if you would have died before you heard the gospel, you were going to hell. Look here, man. I know what I done did out here on these streets, man. And I done did more than some, but I ain't did as much as others. But I knew I ought to go to hell, though. You know what I'm talking about? That much I did know. And this man extended the opportunity and grace. I say, I ought to kill you, but I want you to come get this work so you can live forever. And I say, I'm a cop. I'm rolling with you then. Because I know I ought to die. See, it'd be a big problem for a lot of us, man, that you don't want to accept and look in the mirror and know that you ought to die. I ain't talking about die and go to the grave. I'm talking about die being cut off from Elohim because your iniquity and transgression separating you from him, and it separates you from him from eternity. We don't want to like to look in the mirror and accept that. I know I ought to die. Straight up. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I appreciate the man. That's why he said what he said in Luke chapter 7 when Mary was washing his feet with her tears and drying it with her hair. He that forgive much, love much. He that love little, little is forgiven. That's the problem. You got to pay attention to that, man. All of us know what you done did out here, man. Don't you understand that man could have killed you dead where you stood? When you did it, don't you know Ecclesiastes 8:11 say, because the sentence against an evil work isn't executed speedily, it's privily in the hearts of the sons of men to do evil? Don't you understand because this man don't kill you where you stand, you get it in your mind that you could go do that again? I mentioned that about the women, not to focus on the part of the non-virgin, but to focus on this here. Because I done told brother this here. Man, if you land with a woman and you ain't married to that woman, man, this is the only two righteous options you got. Marry that woman or put your wee-wee in your pants and leave that woman alone. You know what I'm talking about? And it's the same token I tell that woman, because you ain't no victim. We need to stop doing that too with grown men and women trying to act like these women victims. These women ain't 12, 13 years old. These grown women. She wanted that wee-wee just as much as he wanted that coochie. It is what it is, man. They got caught up in their lust and they fulfilled it. And I tell that woman, baby, keep your leg closed or get married. But don't be around here having sex with this man and y'all not going to be married. That don't make no sense. That's the only option if you want to be righteous. Because I'm not finna beat you across your head about you hunching. Okay, you done hunch, man. What y'all gonna do? You gonna get married or you gonna stop having sex? What you gonna do? Because them are the only options. If you're talking about you want to be just. Now, if you don't want to be just, you can do what you want to do. It's that simple. We make this stuff too difficult, man. Because we don't want to act like people are grown and give in to their lust, man. Most of us who in this world are not teenagers, man. These good grown folk, man. And one of the biggest things that people got a problem is the itching in their loins. But you got to get control over that itching in your loins and say, I love God more than I love to get a little tickle in my pickle. You know what I'm talking about? To get a wiggle in the middle. I'd rather have pleasure with him. But you got to sit back and look at, I can't do that. I can't do that. I can't do that. I want to do it, but I can't do it. I just was telling the brother there earlier, man. It's a dude, man, that we seeking to do business with, man, and Stanley was there. And he was like, man, come to the bar, man, come drink with me. I don't drink. And I know that he did not want me to come in this bar to drink with him. He wanted me to come in the bar to chill with him because in business, it's more relationship based than it's just business. Some people want to build a relationship with you. But see, check this out, right? I'm a servant of the living Elohim. I preach this man gospel every single week, faithfully, for over a decade. And even though I know that nobody in the word more than likely was going to walk past that bar at Jack's Beach at 9:30 at night after the end of this network event and see me sitting in that bar, it's just the point that I couldn't even take the chance that if a brother was weak in the faith and seen me sitting in that bar, that it could destroy his faith to the point where if he was struggling with alcohol, well, bro, in there, I can be in there too. Because I'm more concerned about making sure men stand strong in the faith and protecting the name of my Elohim than to sit down and do something that's not expedient. Because it's not that serious. It's not that serious. You know what I'm talking about? It's not that serious. You got to realize, man, you got to protect the name of your husband. You got to protect the name of your father. It's the name you carrying, man. You carrying the name of Yahushua. You carrying the name of Yahuwah. You carrying the name of Yasharal. It's all him. The way people gonna view Yahuwah is when they see you, man, and how you move, and the measure of faith you got. See, we think we're gonna win people over by telling them they're Israelite, or win people over by telling them the law. Man, let me tell you something, man. Boy, these people see you standing on faith, man, and they see how you can endure and hold down through this man promises, bro. That move people to the point where, hey, man, I need to get down what you got going on, boy. Cause I seen what it done did for your life. Boy, I ain't never seen nobody hold on to God like that. That boy, and they were dealing with that. One thing I done told you to tell the brothers all the time. I say, man, when y'all make these records, man, put your life in these records, man. Put your life in these records, man. So people can hear your real life and how you leaned on Yahuwah in these records, man. Not just dropping scripture verses and trying to put as much Bible words or names or whatever the case may be you in it. Man, put your soul in that, man. Put your God in that, man, and bear witness to him. We don't like to do that, man, because we playing. We playing. And you got a nerve to talk about Christians. You playing like they playing. You playing. Verse 8, man. I read verse 7 again, man. Ephesians 5:7. Be you not ye therefore partakers with them, for you were sometimes darkness, but now light in the Lord. Walk as sons of light. For the fruit of the Ruach in all goodness and righteousness and truth, proving what is acceptable unto the Lord, and have no fellowship with the unfruitful works of darkness, but rather reprove. For it is a shame even to speak of those things which are done of them in secret. But all things that are reproved and made manifest by the light, for whatsoever do make manifest is light. Wherefore he say, awake you that sleep, and arise from the dead, and a Mashiach shall give you light. You know what I'm talking about? If you're talking about waking somebody up, you got to wake them up from death, and you can only wake them up through death, through the words of faith. How else you going to do it? So when you see this Isaiah 52:1, he said, awake, awake, put on your strength. Well, what is strength? He said, man, he'll keep you in perfect shalom, whose mind is stayed on you because he trusts in you, trust in Yahuwah. For trust in Yahuwah is everlasting strength. So when you wake up from your sleep, man, put on faith, man. That's where your strength comes from. Well, let me give you that Jeremiah 4:4 about that circumcision. You want to go to sleep, but then you don't want to go to sleep. Why are you behaving this way? Huh? Jeremiah 4:1, man. Jeremiah 4:1. If you will return, O Yasharal, saith Yahuwah, return unto me. And if you will put away your abominations out of my sight, you shall not remove. And you shall swear Yahuwah live in truth, in judgment, and in righteousness. And the nations shall baruch themselves in him shall they esteem. For thus saith Yahuwah to the men of Yehuda and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground and sow not among thorns. And remember, Mashiach told you about the seed that fall amongst the thorns. Let's take a look at it. Matthew 13, we swing right back. See, these are the things that preclude us from getting in this man dominion. You know what I'm talking about? Matthew 13, man, verse 22. He that also receives seed among the thorns is he that hear the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he become unfruitful. Now notice that he told these men in Jeremiah chapter 4 to not sow amongst the thorns. Don't drop that word amongst the thorns. What is the thorns? It's the things that are to prove you. That's what he told you in the book of Judges, to see if you keep his word or not. See, this is a lot of things that people don't be understanding, man. Man, Yahuwah put things in this life to prove you, to see if you're going to do what he told you to do. to see if you believe the way you say you believe. See, a lot of people don't want to be tested and proved because you feel like your presence is enough. You an entitled, narcissistic goofy. See, you can't prove Yahuwah, and Yahuwah don't prove nothing to you. He ain't got to prove nothing to you. When you step out the door and you seen heaven above, Yahuwah proved himself. When you touched the earth beneath, he proved himself. When you took a deep breath and exhale, he proved himself. He ain't got to do nothing else. Let that be known. But you got to prove yourself to him. You know where that come from? Because a lot of men don't prove a woman. And a lot of women ain't never been proved. So that thought process that somebody got to prove you that you acceptable for the position that they putting you in, that's a foreign concept to you. You feel like you ain't got to do nothing. They ought to just know, oh no, I got to prove you. I got to prove you. I got to see that you are who you say you are. That's why that man say the heart is deceitfully wicked and desperately is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. He said, who can know it? He said, I, Yahuwah, test the heart. I, Yahuwah, prove the reins. To give every man according to his work shall be. He gonna prove you. When he said, cursed be the man that trusteth in man, and blessed be the man who trusteth in Yahuwah, whose hope Yahuwah is, well, the only way he gonna know that is he got to prove you. Once you're proven and you shown yourself to be faithful, he'll never reject you. He'll never reject you. Show yourself to be a goofy, and that man gonna cut you off. Play with it if you want to. Jeremiah 4:3. For thus saith Yahuwah to the men of Yehuda and Jerusalem, break up your fallow ground, and sow not among thorns. Circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah, and take away the foreskins of your heart, you men of Yehuda, inhabitants of Jerusalem, lest my fury come forth like fire and burn, that none can quench, because of the evil of your doings. That man said to circumcise yourselves to Yahuwah. So he ain't talking about when he say the uncircumcised and they ain't talking about your wee, bro. That man told you in Ezekiel 44, nobody uncircumcised in heart is entering into this man's kingdom. It's a lot of people who uncircumcised in heart. You're not a Yahudim. See, when we say we a Yahudim, and we ain't had this conversation in a long time, but our people who've been rocking and rolling for a long time already know. Because, for us, that's just standard. We let it be known, boy, we Yahudim. And we ain't saying we Yahudim because we think we from the tribe of Judah. We saying we Yahudim because we circumcised in the heart, man. Who praise is in the Ruach and not in the letter, man. Because we sons and daughters of Elohim, man. That's why we say we Yahudim. Because we the praise of God. The sons of God are the praise of God. That's why we say we are Yahudim. Not because we talking about we from some tribe. We don't care what tribe we from. Only thing we care about is being from the tribe of Elohim, boy, born of incorruptible seed. Caring about what tribe I'm from, man. That just don't mean nothing to me. I got to be from God. Boy, I don't care about no tribe, man. Whatever tribe I'm from, that's the tribe I'm from. I need to be from God, though. That's of utmost importance. That's the most necessary thing. It's the only thing. It's the only thing. I can't speak for nobody else. I'm speaking for me. You know what I'm talking about? Your thoughts, you can share your thoughts and your mind on the matter, but I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for nobody else. Well, Yahuwah is the only thing that matters. My nationality don't matter. My status in this world don't matter. What I accomplish in this world don't matter. That only matter on the natural sense. But in the reality of life, the only thing matter is being with Yahuwah, having Yahuwah, being one with Yahuwah. That's the only thing that matters. And boy, I promise to you, boy, God is my witness before whom I stand. I cannot allow nothing to separate me from him, boy. I'd rather let it go before I get cut off from him. It's not important. You can go. Ain't a piece of coochie on this earth worth being separated from Yahuwah. You know what I'm talking about? No scam or scheme worth being separated from Yahuwah. Ain't no desire on this earth worth being separated from Yahuwah. It ain't worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. It ain't worth it. I don't want it. I don't want that bad. I want Yahuwah more than I want anything in this life. And you ain't got that mind, you're not going to make it. If you don't desire him more than you desire your own self, you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You're going to get caught up with everything else and you're going to go to hell. And then you're going to be looking stupid like Cain was looking stupid when he telling what you got your face balled up for. If you do well, you'll be accepted. If not, sin lie at the door. Come on back to Isaiah 52, man. Verse 2. Indeed, man, indeed. Shake yourself from the dust and arise. Sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose yourself from the bands of your neck, O captive daughter of Zion. For thus saith Yahuwah, you sold yourselves for nothing, and you shall be redeemed without money. For thus saith Yahuwah Elohim, my people went down aforetime into Mizraim to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Now therefore, whatever I have here, saith Yahuwah, my people is taken away for nothing, and they that rule over them make them to howl, saith Yahuwah, and my name continually every day blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name. Therefore in that day that he that do speak, behold, I, how beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bring good tidings, that publish shalom, that bring good tidings of good, that publish salvation, that say unto Zion, your Elohim reign. Now notice he talking about how these people, oh, you oppressing my people? You doing this, that, there, and the third? I'm going to come see you. But this is what I need you to do. I need these people to publish salvation. I need you to publish good tidings. And I'm just going to share these words with you just on the strength for those who don't know. Good tidings is basar. That is the bear news. That is the bear tidings. That is to preach. That is to gladden with good news. That is to announce salvation. That man say that the man's feet are beautiful. That announces salvation. What is beautiful? Na'ah, beautiful, befitting, comely. It's a beautiful thing for a man to walk and bring forth good tidings to announce the salvation of Elohim. See, we get so focused on that the salvation is and of course, salvation in this particular word is Yeshua. Salvation, deliverance, victory, salvation by Elohim. And then, of course, to publish that your Elohim reign is Malik. That is to become a king. That is to have dominion. That is to cause, to reign, and to rule. See, a lot of time, man, we don't want to sit back and look at, we want to look at salvation as being delivered from the nations. That's not the salvation. He told you what the salvation was in Daniel. He told you what it was. But we don't want to focus on that because that means that there's a focus on a change of conduct on our behalf and a level of faith that must be meted out. See, because he told you what he was coming to do in Daniel 9 and 24. That man said he was coming to finish your rebellion, to make an end of your sins, to atone for your perverseness, and to bring in everlasting righteousness, and to seal up the vision and the prophecy, and to anoint the most Kadash. When this man told you to bring in everlasting righteousness, this man was telling you how he was going to give you eternal life. We just skip right over that like that's not even important. All you focusing on is delivering from your enemy. That man saved you from death. You don't even care about that. You know how sad that is? That your God telling you how he saved you from death and you don't even care about that? That you feel like that ain't salvation. What are you saved from? I used to hear Bruce say that all the time when I first got him. How you saved? What you saved from? I'm saved from death, stupid. Shalom, bro. That's not even important to us. You worry about getting saved from a man. Do you know how easy it is for Yahuwah to deliver you from the hands of a man? Do you understand how great a level of mercy and goodness that Elohim showed to save you from death? The one inevitability in life that you can't beat? The book tells you there's no discharge in this battle. You can't beat death. You can't do nothing with death. And he beat it for you. And you don't even talk about it. You don't even announce that mighty act because you don't want to seem like a Christian. Man, come on, man. What's wrong with us, man? Why do you care about them people over there and what another nigga got to say? I don't give a damn what another nigga got to say. I'm going to let it be known. Well, that man redeemed me from death, boy. I'm going to talk about it. I'm going to mention it. I'm going to proclaim it. I'm going to tell it. I don't care what you label me. That's your problem. You care too much about what another man thinks. I don't like men, so I don't care what another man thinks about me. I don't like men. I'm not attracted to them. They thought processes don't concern me. Why you don't care about how Yahuwah look at you? Why you don't care about how he think about you? Why you don't care about what he say about you? We don't care about that. That just pissed me off to no end, man. I ain't gonna tell you no lies. Come over here to Numbers 15, man. He said he was gonna bring in everlasting righteousness. We were talking about this here with the brother the other day. Let's take a deep dive on it one more time. We done did it plenty of times over the years. We'll do it again. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. It ain't gonna hurt nobody. Verse 37, man. And Yahuwah spake unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the sons of Yasharal, and bid them to make them a fringe in the border of their garments throughout their generation, that they may put upon the fringe the borders of a ribbon of blue. And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that you may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah, and do them, that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, which you use to go a-whoring. Let's look at something in Psalm 73 real quick. Psalm 73. Let's just take a look at something in Psalm 73. Let's look at Psalm 73. Excuse me. I don't see why I want to start at. Psalm 73, man. Make it verse 9. Make it 8. Matter of fact, make it 7. Shoot, make it 6. Psalm 73 and 6, man. We got a lot of verses here. I'm going to hit all of them. It's all good. Therefore, pride compassed them about as a chain. Matter of fact, I want you to look at verse 1. Let's just look at verse 1. Let's start with that. Truly, Elohim, good to Yasharal, to such are of a clean heart. Now, you know, the book, what did Yahushua tell you about a clean heart? Well, let's look and see what he talked about this forth as a clean heart in Matthew chapter 5. Let's do that. And when you look at Matthew chapter 5 and verse 8, that man say, Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see Elohim. Now, remember, we talked about that in Psalms 24, either Wednesday or the week before. I can't remember. It might have been Wednesday. And he told you that who have a clean hands and a pure heart, that's who will ascend and stand in his set apart place. And it say, truly Elohim is told. He's good. He's pleasant to those whose hearts are clean. Now, why is that important? Because what does Ezekiel 11 and Ezekiel 33 and Ezekiel 18 and what did Yahushua say in John 3? You know, you got to make you a new heart and a new spirit. You got to be born again. Now, one of the key elements of why he said he wanted you to have the fringe is so you wouldn't go a-whoring after your own heart, after your own mind. You know what I'm talking about? Now, we just read in Daniel how this man going to bring in everlasting righteousness. He also said that this fringe would cause you to remember his word. But he also just said he going to bring you everlasting righteousness. You know what I'm saying? Write it down in the table and in the book. You know what I'm talking about? That the just shall live by their faith. That's what he told you. Let's look at verse 2. But as for me, my feet were almost gone, and my steps had well near slipped, for I was envious at the foolish. I saw the prosperity of the wicked. That's how our people is right now. You looking at all these foolish, wicked people, and you into what they got. Why we ain't got this? Why we ain't got that? Because you ain't got Yahuwah, boy. That's why you ain't got it. Do you not understand that these people have all these things, but they got them by unrighteousness? Let them people continue to stack up iniquity against the day of judgment, so they may be rendered a full recompense of the reward for the wickedness that they've been working in the earth. You remember what he said? The time of the Amorites' iniquity ain't to the full. You don't realize that all these stuff these nations got is for them to fill up the cup of iniquity so he can bash them across the head with it. But you so envious of them people, you're not peeping the game. He letting me have these things so he can kill them for it later. For no bands in their death, for their strength firm. They're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compassed them about as a chain, and violence covered them as a garment. That's why these people act like that, because they don't get trouble like you get trouble. That's why they so quick to kill. That's why they do the stuff that they do. You don't realize this. Yahuwah setting them up for this. He says their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart could wish. They are corrupt and speak wickedly. Oppression, they speak loftily. See, when you see oppression in this text, it's usually talking about violence, killing. You know what I'm saying? When we think oppression, you know, killing ain't always the first thing that come to mind. I ain't gonna say that for everybody, but for some people, for most people in this particular society, killing ain't the first thing that come to mind. When you sit back and you look at this one here, now this got a different word for oppression than you see in other things, man. It's oshek, extortion, oppression, gained by extortion, unjust gain, deceitfully gotten means. See, understand this here, right? You know, our law tell you don't be deceitful with your brother. You know what I'm saying? Especially when it come down to that bread and what they making, man. Shalom, bro. You know what I'm talking about? Especially what they making. He told you don't defraud nobody. Don't you know these white folks in America gonna get their head bust for all the defraud they've been doing? Don't you know them Arabs gonna get their head bust for all that defraud that they've been doing? But guess what? If you defrauding your neighbor, you gonna get your head bust the same, nigga. See, we'll get so focused on what's gonna happen to these nations and you doing this. Do y'all remember the story, man? I think it's in Jeremiah, if my memory serves me correctly. If I'm incorrect, you brothers can straighten me. It might have been in the book of Nehemiah. I can't recall. It might have been in Either way, y'all gonna know the story. Y'all can tell me where it's at. Remember when they were supposed to let the people go from the bondage, man, and then they turn right back around and put them back in it and act like they ain't did nothing? See, the biggest thing that you can't be focused on what these nations doing and you doing the same thing. Because you're gonna go to hell too. You understand how hypocritical that is? Oh, I'm an Israelite, so it don't matter if I'm doing it. No, it do matter. Sin is sin. Unrighteousness is unrighteousness. Oppression is oppression. It don't matter who do it. It's wicked. Stop doing it. God don't oppress. Why you doing it? Yahuwah don't oppress nobody. So why you doing it? If you gonna rep the man, then rep him. If you ain't, shut your mouth and close the book. Go live your life and have fun. Get ready to meet him at a later date. But if you gonna rep this man, then rep that man accordingly, man, because he's solid, bro. He 100. Come on, man. I tell y'all this all the time when it comes to my mind, bro. What God you know would redeem the rebellious also? What God you know took captivity captive and gave gifts unto men, that Yahuwah your Elohim might dwell amongst you, even the rebellious also? What God you know did that? What God you know so merciful and so gracious and so full of goodness and truth and long suffering that he said, I'll wink at their sin and come down here and offer myself so I can live in them, even though they've been rebellious. Praise be to Yahuwah. And we out here playing game. Do you understand that level of mercy, man? And all you focus on is leaving up out of America? Boy, do you not understand this man calls you to leave from the grave, boy? Leaving from America is nothing. That man redeemed you from the one thing you can't whoop, and that's death. What did we talk about Wednesday, man? The man said, I set before you life and death, blessing and cursing, therefore choose life. This is life and death, man. And if you don't see this as life and death, well, you got this game twisted, yo. You butthole backwards. This is life and death, bro. For any of you brothers who's in the street, I ain't talking about you were playing games. I'm talking about you was in the street, moving and shaking. Well, you knew it was life and death in the game that you was playing. You knew that death could come at any given day. You knew it. You knew the game you were playing. Well, it ain't no different with this word, bro. You're no different with this word, bro. We all got to stand before the throne. How you want to be seen when you stand there? Because that man don't care about stuff that you do as a man if it's not congruent with his word. He don't care. He don't care. It's going to be a lot of people that you think Yahuwah are going to accept, and you're going to see him rejecting them. And you're going to be looking like, well, I thought that. Nah. You know why most people not going to get in this man kingdom? Appreciate you, bro. You know why most men ain't going to get in this man kingdom? Because they violated the first commandment he told you. As far as intent is concerned, I'm Yahuwah your Elohim. Have no other God before me. See, we got a lot of idols in our heart. We got a lot of things we set before this man. We got a lot of things that's not congruent with what he promised I'm telling you, man, there's a lot of people got the spirit of Cain, boy. It's dangerous. It's dangerous. That's why they hate the righteous. Because the righteous love the word. They love to delight in what Yahuwah delighted in and to give him what he asked for. The sinners don't like to do that. They like to halfway serve and then look like, but I did what you told me. That's what Saul did. Why you think Saul wanted to kill David? I did what you told me. No, you didn't. What's this sheep out here? Why is Agag still alive? I told you to kill him. And you got niggas talking about what type of bloodthirsty God would want somebody to kill somebody. Them people try to kill your children, you coward. Man, I hate some of these niggas, bro, who always talking about what type of God would do that. Man, Amalek tried to kill your wives and your kids, my nigga. And your God say, boy, don't worry about it. I'm going to catch up with him. And when I catch up with him, I'm going to bust his scalp. And in the time of Samuel and Saul, that was the time for their scalp to get busted. What type of man ain't going to stand up and fight for his old lady and his kids, man? Talking about what type of God would do that. These niggas cowards, bro. We just read that in Nehemiah the other day when the boy had that sword on their hip. That boy say, man, fight for your brothers, man. Fight for your wives. Fight for your children, man. So when it come down to the natural side of it, man, I done told you, man, if it's a situation that arrives, this book tell you that, man, if you see somebody delivered from death and you don't save him, that man say he gonna come see you, boy. If it come that we ain't advocating for no violence, man, we talking about defend, man. Man, if it come down, boy, one of your brothers, one of your wives, one of these sisters, one of these kids' lives in danger, man, and you can deliver them from death, you ought to do it. And we pray you who will remember you for the deed that you performed. Whether you took a life or you laid your life down, you ought to do it. Your God did. He seen you giving over to death, and he came and saved you from it. He ain't leave you in there. He said, don't worry about it. I'll come down there and do it. I got you. I ain't gonna let you die like that. I seen you. I'm gonna get the passage in a minute. I seen you giving over to it. I got you. Come on, man. And then on the spiritual side, man, look at, man, if you got the sword of the Ruach, man, you got that word on your hip, man. You got that fire on your hip, man. You supposed to swing that. You supposed to let that go. To deliver that person from death, you supposed to let that fire go, man. I'm talking about, I don't care if you're carrying the 40 cal, the 50 cal, the Yappa, the Draco, you supposed to let that thing go, boy. You supposed to let that thing go, boy, to save that man's soul from death, if the Lord permit. That's what it about, man. That's what it about, man. You trying to live forever? What you trying to do? Because you trying to live forever, you ain't going to be able to do all the other stuff you want to do. Because it's going to contradict. It's going to hinder you. Because everybody don't want to live forever. That's not everybody's desire, man. That's not everybody's desire who in this thing, man. Man, I've been in the game for 14 years, man. I'm telling you. I've been in the thing 14 years, man. I ain't seen as much as others. I seen more than some. And what I seen in 14 years, and this ain't what everybody want to do. They might like to talk about it, but this ain't what they want to do. There's a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because you can make your mouth fry fish. You know what I'm talking about? But what you gonna do when it's time to put your feet to that pavement, man, and get out here and get this money, man? You know what I'm talking about? When it's time to get out here and get these durable riches, man. What you gonna do then, man, when it's time to get paid, man? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do then? You gonna get a car, man? You gonna get your hire, man? I'm trying to get paid, bro. I'm trying to get paid, man. He got what I'm looking for. Ain't no man on this earth got what I'm looking for, man. You ain't got it. He got the words of eternal life. Remember what Peter said, where we going to go at? You got the words of eternal life. Where we going to go? You got it. We don't even care about the words of eternal life. We care about doctrine and natural things. We don't care about that. And you know how we know we don't care about that? Because we don't talk about it. It's not promoted. It's not pushed. It's not the concern. We care about stamping out somebody else's doctrine or promoting the things that we feel is important. But the words of eternal life, the people ain't getting that, and that's why they still dying. That's why they still dying. That's why they still in their sins. That's why they ain't been set free. We're here to, the truth shall set you free. And you think that's just talk about saying something factual. When truth is a moth, it's a moon, it's the faithfulness of God that set you free from sin and death, boy. The man turned right around and said, man, if you commit sin, you the servant of sin. But if the Son shall make you free, you're free forever. That man told you what a ruach of the Lord is, there's freedom. Man, we got to get free, man. How you free and you still sinning? How you free? You not. You can easily set yourself free. By trusting in the word, man, you'll be free. Free from death, free from sin, free from the world, free from the flesh. It won't have no dominion over you. Just like we read in Isaiah 26. Other lords have had dominion over us, but we'll only make mention of your name. The only person that had dominion over here is the one who already had it, and that's Yahuwah. Man, life's so much better and so much freer and so much lighter when it's just Yahuwah. Oh, I didn't know our nose was still stopped. Psalm 73, verse 9. They set their mouth against Shamahim and their tongue walked through the earth. What we read about, and you can read in Ezekiel. He said, all your words of blasphemy, I heard them. What you read about the beast, he speak things against the God of heaven. He blasphemed the tabernacle of heaven. That man said they speaking against he said they walk around and speak against heaven. But all you want to talk about the nations hate on Israel. Boy, they speaking against God. Boy, which one you think he care about more? Them talking about you or them talking about him? And disrespecting his name. Because you disrespecting his name. Man, don't you know, and I know this for a fact, and I can't remember the name of the congregation, it ain't important. Boy, you got Bruce been standing out here in the past, man, talking about they stand for Yahuwah, and these niggas were swingers, bro. These niggas were swingers, bro. These niggas were swapping wives, bro. Swapping husbands, you understand me? You got men who's out here talking about they represent Yahuwah, talking about they got multiple wives, and they wives is performing connivance on one another, man. You got dudes who standing out here representing Yahuwah and they smashing everything. You got dudes who preaching this man word, sleeping with other men's wives, boy. And Bruce like, well, ain't none of us perfect. Man, you ain't never, boy, if you sitting around listening to a dude and he telling you he's sinning and you listen to him teach the word, bro, you ought to go to hell because you are a special type of stupid. Cause boy, I'm not listening to no nigga who telling me he openly sinning. I know God ain't gave you no word to teach me. Boy, if you know you this man right here, talking about, yeah, I'd be knocking down niggas' wives. But check this out. Genesis, I'm not listening to you, bro. Why would I listen to you? We make excuses for them. They've been waking up people for years. I don't care who they've been waking up. I'm not listening to this man. You cannot tell me that you openly defiant against the word of Yahuwah and then tell me Yahuwah with you while you doing it. And then we stupid enough to believe it. Well, you know, but you'll talk about a Christian pastor all day long. See, that's the false prophets. That's the false prophets. That's the false prophets. Pastor Pope talk sleeping with all the members. Well, Elder Dingleberry doing the same thing. So how is he any different? Oh, he been waking up people to the truth, brother. He been showing people their nationality. I ought to bust you upside the head with a bottle. Verse 10, Psalm 73. Therefore his people return hither, waters of a fool wrung out to them. And they say, how do Elohim know? Is there knowledge in the Most High? Behold, these the ungodly who prosper in the world, they increase in riches. See, sinners always gonna say God don't know. What knowledge is it in the Most High? What information I can get from serving God? You know, he told you the same thing in Malachi. And understand this one here. I'm mentioning the nations, but he talking about Bruce first. And he definitely talking about Bruce and Malachi. See, we always like to point the stuff out, but he was talking to you. You was doing that. Brother Marvin put the Nehemiah 16 and 17 that I was referring to. That's what y'all were doing. See, we don't never like to talk about anytime we talk about what we doing, we like to paint it in a oh no, that's not the one. That's not the one, but I get you. You know what I'm saying? We like to paint it in a nice way. Well, you were doing all that stuff too. Man, I remember when I first got in the word, be like, yeah, man, we learned homosexuality from the white man. No, you didn't. You learned homosexuality because you like booty hole. Ain't nobody teach you to like no booty hole. You had a perverse lust in your heart. Because in the book of Judges, it wasn't no white men around there teaching them Benjamites to go like no booty hole. That was them. But you don't like to talk about that. You want to pass the buck off to somebody else and then turn around and talk about accountability is kryptonite to a woman. But you don't want to sit back and understand, boy, your forefathers was evil, boy. Them were some evil people doing some evil things, and that the just among them was small. It was small. It wasn't great. It wasn't great. Not comparison to the unjust. The just was small compared to the unjust because it's easier to sin. It takes something to have self-control. It takes something to hold to the word. That's why everybody can't do it. That's why he says straight is the gate and narrow is the way, and few be there that find it, because it takes something in that. I've been telling you this a long time, man, greatness is not an easy path, and everybody is not willing to do the work to become great. And when he say that he shall be called great and the son of the highest, and he's given us power to be called the sons of Elohim, that means this work that got to be put in that everybody ain't willing to do. Don't nobody want to do the hard work. But I'm going to tell you like this here, though. I'm going to be honest with you. We like to make it seem like the word is so difficult. But I'm going to tell you something, man. The love is pretty easy. Don't take a lot of effort to do it. It takes more effort to be hateful, malicious, spiteful, and contentious. It takes effort to be like that. It takes effort to be like that. To actually have love for people, bro, don't even take no. You don't got to really do too much. You ain't really got to do too much, man. It ain't hard. It ain't hard to love Yahuwah. It take more effort and energy to hate Yahuwah than it do to love him. Because you got to go out your way and purposely and knowingly do things that you know he'll find offensive. You got to try to cover it up. That's effort. That's too much. It's like people who live a lie. I can't live like that. It's too much work to be trying to cover up lies and remember the last lie you told it. Who got time for all that? That's too much work. Life hard enough to be doing a lot of unnecessary work. That's right. Brother Nate say when you love what you do, even the tough become easy. You know what I'm talking about? Indeed. Indeed. Because the son loved Abba, even the tough, which was getting on that tree, became easy. Even though it was tough for his flesh, it was easy in his heart. Because the Ruach is willing, but the flesh is weak. Come on with it, man. Verse 13. Truly I have cleansed my heart in vain and washed my hands in innocency. For all the day long have I been plagued and chastened every morning. If I say I will speak thus, behold, I shall offend the generation of your children. When I thought to know this, it was too painful for me. Look what he said. Until I went into the sanctuary of Elohim and stood I therein. That man said it was painful for him to see how the wicked ball. Till he went in the sanctuary. And when he went in the sanctuary, y'all, let me ask y'all this question. When he went in the sanctuary, what you think he got for him to understand their end? What you think he went and got? What did you think when he went in the sanctuary to understand their end? What you think he went and got to get that understanding? I gotta get my hair braided, boy. This junk is tough. I had to let Miss Scott breathe. Breathe. What y'all think he went and got in that sanctuary, man, to understand their end? What you think he went in there and got? What you think, bro? Oh, well, all the things that he said beforehand about the wicked. He said when he thought to know that, it was too painful for him. Until he went into the sanctuary of Elohim and understood their end. So when he went into the sanctuary and he was able to understand the end of the wicked, what did you think he went and got for him to be able to understand the end of the wicked? Anybody? Any of y'all? Going once? Going twice? Anybody? Come on, man. There's a lot of grown men on here. I know one of y'all boys picking up what we're putting down. I know that. Y'all some sharp gentlemen out here, man. Y'all some sharp brothers, man. I believe in you. You got an idea, Mom? We at 137.55. So when it get to 138, I give y'all another minute. Now I know some of y'all can't readily type on YouTube, so that I do understand. Brother Robert say the way of Yahuwah. I can allow it. Can anybody come a little bit more specific? You got about 38 seconds. For those of y'all who don't know, this is a completely interactive deal. So that's why I add the questions and pause. You can always interact. Only time the interaction will slow down is in a place sanctified for worship of Yahuwah. And that's only for the ladies. And then for the ladies, I would just tell you, if your husband or any male, if it's a question or something that you wanted to be known, just make mention of it to him. And then he can ask it and we can proceed like that. But it's always to make sure that you engaged and focused because it's your soul. It's not mine. So Brother Marvin is like he said, man, the way of Yahuwah, he went in that sanctuary and got that word. The word is what caused him to understand the end of the wicked. Remember what we started about in all your get understanding. And if you without understanding, you worthy of death. And he opened the scriptures that they might understand the scriptures. He understood the end of the wicked when he went in the sanctuary and got the word. And the word showed him what was going to happen to him. Verse 18. Surely you did set them in slippery places. You cast them down in destruction. How are they into desolation as in a moment? They are utterly consumed with terrors. As a dream when one awake, O Lord, when you awake, you shall despise their image. Thus my heart was grieved and I was pricked in my reins. So foolish I and ignorant I was, a beast before you. This man is sitting here telling you that, boy, I seen that I was foolish and ignorant when I am grieved and I have been pricked in my heart because I didn't understand that you told me that these wicked people was surely going to die and that I didn't even need to be envious nor concerned with nothing they had going on. Because if I would have understood the word like I was supposed to, I would have already know that that check has been cashed. Verse 23, nevertheless, I continually with you. You have holden by my right hand. You shall guide me with your counsel and afterwards receive me to esteem. Whom have I in Shamahim but you? And there is none upon the earth that I desire besides you. Let me read that to you again. Whom have I in Shamahim but you? And there is none upon the earth that I desire besides you. My flesh and my heart fail. Elohim is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. For lo, they that are far from you shall perish. You shall destroy all them that go a-whoring from you. But it's good for me to draw near to Elohim. I have put my trust in Yahuwah Elohim that I may declare all your works. So when we talk about go a-whoring, and that's coming from, we're coming from Numbers 15. And of course, the word for whoring is zanah, and that's to be unfaithful to Elohim, specifically in this instance. So when we go back to Numbers 15, he said he gave them a friend so they would not be unfaithful. Now, I'm going to ask y'all a question. Taking into context Numbers 15, where were the people coming from when Numbers 15 was written? I know it seems to be an asinine question, but the question has to be asked to set up the point that's trying to be made. When Numbers 15 was written, where were they coming from? I don't even think they make Watermelon Wonder anymore, boo. That made me sad. Don't nobody got it. They got this elderberry though. That's right, Brother Nate. They coming out of Egypt. Now let's take a look at Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 24, and let's see what he said they had going on in regards to Egypt. Let's look at Yahushua son of Nun, chapter 24. I make it verse 9. And then Balak, son of Zippor, Malach of Moab, arose and warred against Yasharal, and sent and called Balaam, the son of Beor, to curse you. But I would not hearken unto Balaam. Therefore he blessed you still, so I delivered you out of his hand. And you went over Jordan and came to Jericho. And the men of Jericho fought against you. The Amorites and the Perizzites and the Kenites and the Hivites and the Girgashites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, and I delivered them into your hand. Paul, I remember, man, right before I caught the case that sent me to prison, I had bought one of this, well, not right before. Let me rephrase that. When we were trapping out east on Buckman, so I probably had this book for about a year. You know what I'm talking about? 360 questions to ask a Hebrew Israelite. You know what I'm talking about? By Dr. Malachi Z. York. Matter of fact, because I was with the girl who braided my hair. We was in the trap reading that particular book. But I remember in that particular book how he had mentioned about the passage in Deuteronomy, I believe, where he was talking about kill all the Girgasites, the Hivites, all the people we just mentioned. And I can remember reading that text when I was in jail, you know what I'm talking about? And you know what I'm saying? Having no understanding of that particular passage. Not really great. York was talking about some old goofy stuff, you know what I'm talking about? But then when you turn around and look at it, right? I'm mentioning that because you were coming to take them people land. The land that he promised to you. And you took that land by war. Now, the question is this. What was the number one reason why you went to war with them people? Because them people were defiling the land with the way that they were living. Now remember that he used you as the sword to take down the wicked. In this instance, the Perizzites, the Amorites, the Kenites, the Hittites, the Girgashites, the Hivites, and the Jebusites. Because a lot of the things in the law, he told you this in the law, them people was in the land doing it. They were offering their children to Molech. They were playing with booty hole. They were sleeping with women on their period. They were having sex with mama and sisters. They were defrauding their neighbor. They were dealing with necromancers and diviners. They were doing all that. That man said, well, y'all got to go for that. See, I'm mentioning that for those of you who don't know when he say Romans chapter 2, when he say those who were without the law will perish without the law, that's where that come from. Because the people in the land, when you came in the land, they ain't had a law and they died without it too. That's where Paul got that from. But see, we ain't even nice enough with the text to even look at that and see, oh yeah, he talking about what happened when they came in the land. The people ain't had no law and they died without it. Because a lot of people say he can't kill you unless you know. Lying to me. He ain't preached no word to no Canaanites and no Hittites and no Jebusites for his son Yahushua, son of Nun, them boys in there to take them down. He ain't preached none to them. Y'all been in here living foul and abominable, and you dying today. That man don't want to talk. Well, ain't nobody getting away, man. You can't be around here living any kind of way, and that man is going to be like, well, I guess I got to teach him the word first. No, I'm going to teach you how to die because you leaving here today. Tighten up on your backstroke. That should make you consider some things, man. That should make you consider some things, man, about how you moving, bro. That should all, do you understand, man, the majority of the people that we know that we had love for, man, they died and never heard what you heard. Your great-grandmas, your great-granddaddies, some of your parents, homeboys, brothers, sisters, they didn't hear what you hear. You don't realize how blessed you are. Me and Will were talking about this the other day. I done told you this before. Don't you know if this man giving you understanding, he giving you understanding so you can save your soul? What else you getting understanding for? If this man is allowing you to get understanding, it's so you can live forever. Do you not understand that if you're not getting understanding, that man wants you to die? He wants you to die. I know it don't, like, he don't have no pleasure to death in him that die, but you got vessels fitted for wrath and vessels fitted for mercy. And if he ain't giving you no understanding, you a vessel fitted for wrath. Do you not understand how beautiful thing that is, how blessed of a matter it is? If this man is allowing you to have access to understanding, that means he wants you to have access to him. He wants you to be close to him. We don't appreciate that, though. You know why? Because you don't understand the value of understanding. You don't understand what he meant when he told his apostles, man, many righteous men have desired to hear the things that you heard and ain't heard them, and see the things that you seen and ain't seen them. He told them they were blessed. He told them they were blessed. Do you understand? It's not any righteousness of me. I ain't studied so hard at this, that, there, and the third. It's strictly because Yahuwah see fit to let us get understanding, man. That's why his righteous name ought to be praised. Because that's all him. Y'all know how much bad work it is out here on these streets, man? Don't you know that all of us could be sitting around here listening to trash and being absolutely spiritually stupid? And he saw fit for that not to happen. And you don't appreciate it and you don't value it. I used to tell y'all years ago, man, when it comes to what this man allow us to search these scriptures, man, to find his man's son in his book so that we might believe and be saved, don't take that for granted, because everybody not hearing that. And everybody's not getting that. And it's not because we're special. It's because Yahuwah is merciful. So understand the grace and mercy in your face and take hold to it and value it. That's why he say he likened the kingdom of heaven to a man who saw a field and sold everything he had and bought it. You know what I'm talking about? Remember when we were talking about buy the truth and sell it not? Also understanding and instruction and wisdom. That means you're willing to get rid of everything you got and get that because it's that valuable. You value it. When you don't value eternal life, you're not going to give up everything you got for it because it's not important. You don't see it as a prized possession. That's something that we all have to consider every single solitary day that he allows us to have breath in our lungs. You know what I'm talking about? But let's continue. 24 and 12, Yahushua son of Nun. And I sent the hornet before you, which drave them out from before you, the two kings of the Amorites, not with your sword, nor with your bow. Look at this man told you, you ain't drive them people out. He said, I did it. But you think you're going to fight your way out of captivity? You smoking crack. You didn't fight your way out of Egypt, and you ain't fighting your way out of here. And I've given you a land for which you did not labor, and cities which you built not, and you dwell in them. Of vineyards and olive yards which you planted, not do you eat. You see how you went into a city that was already prepared for you? You can't see the underlying, you know what I'm talking about, similitude in that, man. How you see these cities and builders were makers were men, but that city was prepared for you. Now you got a city and builder who is Elohim, who got all these things prepared for you. He said, in my father's house, there's many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you. Oh my goodness. There's a house in that you're going to dwell in that you didn't build. Huh? Vineyards in there that you didn't plant. Wells that you didn't dig. All that. Yahuwah got it prepared. That's why he say, you know, I have not seen nor ear have heard what Elohim has prepared for those that wait for him. Now, therefore, fear Yahuwah and serve him in sincerity and in truth, and put away the gods which your father served on the other side of the flood and in Egypt, and serve you Yahuwah. See, this is what people don't really realize. Your forefathers didn't know Yahuwah, so all they knew was idol worship. They were in Egypt. What else were they going to know? What you think they were doing? If you think your forefathers were serving Yahuwah in Egypt, you sadly mistaken. You ain't been reading the book. They didn't even know Yahuwah. And we went over that before. Not too long ago, maybe a couple months ago. When it said they were groaning, they weren't groaning calling out to Yahuwah. They were groaning because of the oppression. How they going to call on a God they never knew? It said a Pharaoh rose up that didn't know Joseph. So if Pharaoh didn't know Joseph, you think that over time the people knew Yahuwah? Because they didn't. Why you think Moses said, man, when they ask me who sent me, what I'm going to tell them? They didn't know this man. Why you think he had to work signs and wonders by the hand of Moses and Aaron to the people to call them to believe? They didn't know God. But as Bruce, we done deceived ourselves to thinking that they were in Egypt for 430 years serving Yahuwah. And they weren't. They weren't. They were just like how you are right now. The only difference between you and them is that you get in word and you ain't got an immediate departure from getting the word like they got. And you getting something greater than what they got. You get to become a son of God. They ain't had access to that. As we were talking to the brother when he was talking about the fringes, look here, man, Abraham ain't had no fringes. And neither did Isaac. And neither did Jacob. And neither did Noah. And they all have a memorial. They all have a good report in heaven because of faith. Because they never went a horn after their own heart. If you got to look down at a piece of cloth, shalom, brother Shaul. If you got to look down at a piece of cloth to remember not to sin, you got bigger problems, bro. I told you, I know men who wear fringes every day and sin like it's nobody's business. And I know men who don't wear no fringes and don't commit no sin. And I know some people like, everybody's sin. Speak for yourself. Don't put no everybody. It's none righteous. You right. Ain't none righteous. Not one. And every man done sin since he came out the womb. But once you born of the word, he that's born of Elohim do not commit sin. He cannot sin. His seed remain in him. I've been telling you for years, stop letting people put that evil on you, man. Just because they don't want to stop sinning don't mean you need to let them people put that on you, man. You can discipline yourself and not sin. The same way you make a choice to sin is the same way you can make a choice not to sin. That's why Brother Shaul said the fringe represents our conformity to the word of Yahuwah, or for the word to be in your mind. You know what I'm talking about? Sin is a choice. So if you can choose to sin, you can choose not to sin. You can choose to delight in righteousness. You can choose to delight in unrighteousness. Or as Paul wrote it, to whoever you yield your member service to is to whom you obey. Whether righteousness unto life or sin unto death, that's your choice. See, we like to abdicate the choice so you can feel that you are free from the punishment. Because it wasn't me, it was the flesh, it was the world. No, that was you. He said every man when he's tempted of his own lust. Yeah, that's all you, bro. That's what you wanted to do. If you wanted to be a drunkard, that's because that's you, bro. Ain't no drunk spirit on you. You just a drunk-minded nigga. You like to drink. It make you feel good. That's why you do it. You ain't got no lust spirit on you. You don't have control over your desires. You're led by them. See, as a man, it has to come a point in time in your life when you are no longer led by what feels good, but you're led by righteousness, which is the faith of Elohim. See, it's a lot of men you claim to be men, but you led by what feels good. You're a child. Because you have no self-control. Then you want to lead a wife and lead some kids. How you going to do that when you're mentally undisciplined, much less spiritually undisciplined? Who you going to lead? You lead these people to destruction. That's what I meant earlier about how you going to listen to a dude teaching you the word and he's not spiritually disciplined. He can't lead you to nowhere but the grave. Two crackheads can't get each other off crack, man. Somebody got to stop smoking. See, we don't want to do that. Because if a person clean itself up, then it shows that you can live that way, and then you know you're going to hell, and you're going to have to change. And most people don't want to change. And remember, we talked about that change versus growth. When I'm talking about change, I'm talking about shoot. You know, the word for shoot, the word for repent, shoot, to turn. Most people don't want to grow. You want to remain stagnant with the illusion of change, but you haven't actually grown and matured. There has to come a time in life where you got to grow. You can't be 30 years old and still desire things you desired at 15. You can't be 40 years old and desiring the things you desired at 20, at 25. That means your life was a waste. That means you didn't learn anything. Your whole entire life was a waste if you still think and move the same in your 40s that you did as you did in your 20s. You're an overgrown child masquerading as a man. It's shameful. You know what I'm talking about? And we got a problem that I tell them, and the bigger problem is we got older cats. Don't nobody want to give nobody no game. These dudes don't even know that you can show people script. You still got to give them game in life. You got to show these young cats how to move, man. You got to let these young ladies know what the game is and what the play is. Ain't nobody doing that. Nobody wants to do that because then they'll have to look at themselves. It's the same way when we go to talking about the things that people experienced in their life. Most people who teaching the word are of age, they ain't dealt with what they went through in life, so they don't want to do that with other people because then they'll have to face themselves, and people don't want to do that. People don't want to have them type of conversations, man. But we always talking about healing and this, that, there, and the third. Most people ain't traumatized. You just sorry. And when I say you just sorry, it's not that what you experienced is invalid. It's that you calling it trauma just to deal with the fact that you didn't get your way, or things didn't go how you thought they ought to go, or you know what I'm saying, that this, that, there, and the third, and you're using that as a crutch for your negative conduct and behavior and character flaws. Instead of looking yourself in the mirror and say, I want to be a better person. I want to be a better version of myself. But it would take work to do that. And don't nobody want to put in the grind, man. Most people don't want to grind when nobody looking. You want everybody to see you, which means you ain't working for real. You just putting on a show. You know what I'm talking about? Nigga, this ain't Hollywood, California, nigga. Ain't no stage. This ain't no stage, bro. What's wrong with you? Show life, man. What's wrong with you? You got to be willing to grind when ain't nobody looking. You got to be willing to work when it look like you ain't getting nothing back in return. You got to be willing to work when losses happen. You still got to be willing to grind. We ain't willing to do that, man. You ain't hungry, man. You got to be hungry like the werewolf of London out there, ho, man. You know what I'm talking about? But you got to be hungry, man. How hungry are you for Yahuwah? How hungry are you for his salvation? How hungry are you for eternity, man? How bad you want that? What you willing to do to get it? What you willing to lose to get it? What you willing to go through to get it? How dedicated are you to him? He dedicated to you. And you didn't deserve it. So you mean to tell me you can't dedicate to him? He the reason you breathe. He the reason why you redeemed. But you can't dedicate yourself to him? Your God became a man and died so you could live, bro. Do you not understand the seriousness of that, man? Do you not understand the level of mercy and love that is, man? I don't care nothing about you think that's Christian doctrine. Blow that out your butthole. Your Elohim became a man. Nobody else could redeem you from sin and death but God himself. A man can't do that. So he became a man to do it. You understand what level of love that is, man? Do you understand the level of goodness and mercy and grace that is, man? Do you understand that? Do you really just sit back? Have y'all ever actually sat back and thought in your mind, We serve a power so great that he made himself lesser so we could be greater. So that we could be like him. He put off eternity to put on temporal, carnality, flesh, so that he could put eternity back on and give it to you. Because you didn't have access to it before he did it. You didn't have access to eternity. This man came to give you access to eternity. Do you understand how serious that is, man? Do you want to understand that you should be praising this man in your heart and with your mouth every minute and every moment of the day? Do you know that hallelujah should just flow off your lips like you drink water? Do you know it should rain out in your heart for no reason whatsoever? Because this man put off eternity to put on flesh so that he could be a faithful and merciful high priest as pertaining to the reconciliation of man to Elohim, and then put off that flesh to put off eternity and send eternity so it could dwell in you, so that the day that you die, when them trumpets blow and he shed that shout, that you can resurrect from the dead and be with him forever. Come on, man. You understand how serious that is? And we around here talking about this, that, there, and the third that ain't hitting on nothing. Come on, man. Do you understand the level of love that is, man? Do you think about it? Do you consider it? Do you appreciate it? Do you value it? Do you understand it? I don't think we understand it, man. You know why we don't understand it? Because you two words that sound like Christian doctrine. You sound stupid. Because you don't know your maker. You don't know how you were redeemed. That man told you in Psalms 49, man, you can't redeem your brother from death. His redemption is precious. Let me show it to you, man. And I got to get you that Proverbs. See how the Lord works? See, praise Yahuwah, man. See, all esteem the Abba and Shamahim in the name of Yahushua, boy, because his word is faithful, his mercy endure forever, and it's always highly on point. What I just talking about? I don't forgot that fast. That's how I know I'm old. Dang, you heard what I said I was doing? I don't forget. Come with Proverbs 24. It'll come to me. Where's that? I can't even remember where I said I was going. That is unfortunate. Let me find the proverb that I was talking about. I think I got myself in the wrong chapter. Hold on. We get it sorted out. I was going to something else, and then I forgot. That is wild. Proverbs 24, man, verse 11, man. Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Brother Nate. That's what it was, Psalm 49. Y'all got to bear with me. I'm old, man. I be forgetting stuff quick sometimes. Proverbs 24 and 11, after that, Psalm 49. He said, if you forbear to deliver, drawn unto death, and ready to be slain, if you say, behold, we knew it not, do not he that ponder the heart consider, and he that keep your soul, do he not know? And not render to every man according to his works? That man say, if you forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death. Let's look at what that means if you drawn unto death, man. See, we don't even realize that what we talking about is talking about his kingdom, man. It's talking about his dominion, because he gave us dominion over death. Through his son, man. That's how he did it. That's how gangster it is, man. That's how serious it is. That's how serious your Elohim is, man. When we look at drawn unto death, you got lakah, maveh, which we know maveh is death. That's to lay hold of, seize, to carry along, to take possession of, to capture. So he said, if you forbear to deliver here is nasal, which is to snatch away, to rescue, to save. If you stop from saving those who have been captured of death, and forbear his kasak, which is to refrain, to restrain, to hold back, and those who are ready to be slain, And when you're dealing with ready, it's moth, harag. Mo again is to slip, to be greatly shaken, to be moved, or to overthrown. So those who have been overthrown with slaughter or a killing, that man already seen you being overthrown. He said, if you hesitate, he said, man, don't you see that I'm a ponder it? That's why when you see Yahushua say, Abba, if it be possible, let this cup pass, but not my will be done, but your will be done. That's why when Peter upped the fire, he said, man, put that thing up, man. He said, don't you know I can call for 12 legions of Malachim right now? How else the scripture's going to be fulfilled, my G? Because I'm sitting here seeing you. You're drawn under death, man. You're ready to be slain. Boy, I gotta do what I gotta do. I gotta do this. It's necessary. It's needful. That's why he told him, get behind me, adversary, because you desire the thing to be a man and not the thing to be an Elohim. Not that Peter was the devil, but that he would be an adversarial in the moment. He didn't understand. It was needful that he died. Peter didn't understand that. He didn't understand the text to know this man telling him, yo, man, I got to suffer many things and rise again the third day. Peter like, man, I don't know what this man talking about, but I know this is my homeboy, this is my Lord, this is my master, this is my brother, and boy, I'll murk a nigga before I let a nigga kill you, boy. And people can say what they want to say. Of course, the script had to be fulfilled, but we know Peter was with it because he didn't hesitate to up that fire. And he used it. You know what I'm talking about? So you already seen he was faithful. But he had to fulfill the text. He had to do what the text say. He had to deny him and they had to slide. Because you know why? If them boys would have stayed there and tried to fight for the Lord, they would have been killed and the gospel wouldn't have been preached. We don't even sit back and understand that. Man, them men would have killed them men, man. Why you kept saying they Galileans? They be with him. They would have killed them too. How you would have got the gospel if they would have killed them too? We don't be thinking about stuff like that, man. Psalm 49. Verse 7. Listen to it. After that, Isaiah 59. Psalms 49 and 7. None can by any means redeem his brother, nor give to Elohim a ransom for him. For the redemption of their soul, precious is ceased forever, that he should still live forever and not see corruption. That man say, can't none of y'all redeem your brother. God had to do it. Who else was going to pay that price? Who else could reconcile you? The high priest was already making sacrifices every year on atonement for your reconciliation. And it didn't do nothing. The only person who could do that was, who else could reconcile you back to God but God himself? But people be wondering, Jesus wasn't God. Yeah, I know he's not. Not to you. That's why you won't meet him in peace, stupid. Because you ain't got enough understanding to know. Can't nobody redeem you to Elohim but Elohim himself. A goat can't redeem you to Elohim. Saying, I repent, I'm sorry, can't redeem you to Elohim. You don't understand the depths of the separation. You separated from him because you're flesh and blood, boy. You got to become Ruach so you can be one with him. That's why we were talking about it's not good for man to be alone. That's why we talked about that Wednesday, man. The underlying message. He said it wasn't good for you to be alone. So he gave you a help meet. He gave you the Ruach, boy. You don't appreciate it, though. You don't understand what this man been out here doing, man. We don't really understand what this man been out here doing, man. Let me not say what he out here doing, what he's done. That's why I preach the gospel, man, and speak of his mighty acts. I ain't ashamed. I know what he did, and I stand on that. I done had people say, you sound like a Christian. What, I'm supposed to be offended by that? I ain't ever been in no Christian church, nigga. That junk don't bother me, bro. I'm a dope boy, man. That's what I wore before the world. I don't know what you wore. I ain't never been to church, man. I wasn't up in no church faking like I was godly and sinning. And when I left, I knew I wasn't finna keep no word, so I wasn't going up in there. One thing about me, man, I don't know how to live phony, bro. I don't know how to live opposite of what it is that I'm on, man. I don't know how to live like that, bro. I didn't live like that before word. I don't know how to do that. I don't know how to do that, man. Anything I do, that's what I'm on, man. And I ain't saying that to impress none of y'all. You can ask the people who know me in real life. And I ain't talking about just these people in this congregation, man. I'm talking about the people who I grew up with who know me, man. Been around me every day of my childhood and my adulthood, man. I don't know how to be nothing other than who I am and what I'm on. That's all the thing I know. I don't know how to be nothing else. When I ain't lift no weights or work out when I was young, I wasn't on that. I ain't gonna pretend like, yeah, I work out. Nigga, I'm like, bro, I'm not on that. I used to tell my cousin who doing a life sentence for murder that all the time. I'm like, big cuz, I ain't on that. He be like, come on, cuz, come do these push-ups and dips with me. Bro, cuz, I'm not coming to do nothing. I'm finna go in this cell, bro. I'm finna read this book. I'm not doing nothing. I'm not on that. You know what I'm talking about? I don't want to do nothing. I don't want to work out. I don't want to do that. I started working out because my homeboy kept asking me to work out with him in 2007. And when I did, I said, you know what? I kind of like it. And I kept doing it. And I've been doing it for 16 years consistently. You know what I'm talking about? When it comes to hustling, yeah, I'm on that. I ain't talking about no drugs. I'm talking about trying to create something for myself, man, and for the people around me whenever possible. I'm on that. That's not for cameras or for show or I'm doing this for my people or this, that, there, and the third. Why wouldn't I want the lives of the people around me to be better if I can be able to do that? We was on that before the word, bro. He was on that before the word, bro. That's how we were taught. That's how we were raised. That's what we were told. That's what you're supposed to do. So we already had a mind to do that. And I don't know how to be phony, man. If I don't like you, I ain't finna be fooled up with you. So if I talk to you, or like I said, I mean, you all right with me? Because I don't know how to be phony with a nigga. Boy, if I don't like you, boy, I'm not talking to you. I ain't kicking it with you. I ain't hanging with you. I ain't being fraudulent. None of that. I'm a professional. So I can be hospitable and cordial because I'm a professional. But if I don't fool with you, bro, I don't fool with you. And I'm not finna pretend like I fool with you. I'm not going to do it. And I ain't going to deal with the word, and it's not what I'm on. For what? What's the point of doing that? It's better just not to be on it if you're not going to be on it. Why would you want to pretend to be something that you're not? Why do people do that? That doesn't make sense to me. Just be yourself, bro. Just be who you are and be what you own. If that's what you own, then stand on that. You know what I'm saying? You got to be a man of honor, man. You got to live by integrity and principles that you profess, man. You got to stand on that, bro. Be a man. That's why I thank you, man, for the men who taught me when I was a jit. Because that's what they taught me, man. Long before some word came around. We had a code of ethics we lived by long before the word came around. So when the word came, it made it easy for me to live by a code of ethics. We was already living like that. Now, I know some people be like, well, in the street, ain't no code. I ain't responsible for other men who break the code of ethics of which they say they stand on. I don't. Like, I wouldn't rat on a nigga in the street if I was out here doing crimes. What am I telling for? If I got caught, that means I need to take responsibility for the choices and decisions that I made and accept those consequences that come from the choices and the decisions I made. I know what I was doing. I knew the consequences that come along with it. I got to be a man and take responsibility for that and handle what comes because I made that choice. And me telling on you, what is that going to do? That means I'm trying to avert and skirt the responsibility of my choices. Me putting myself in a bad spot ain't got nothing to do with you. And I'm not going to dishonor myself as a man by doing such a thing. I'm not finna steal from my brother. I'm not finna sleep with my homeboy wife. What am I do that for? That's without the word. I'm not finna dishonor myself, man. Man, honor is important as a man. And when you see the word, he tell you the same thing, man. Maintain your honor, man. It's a lot of suckers and busters out here and dishonorable men. And niggas turn their head from that and they cool with it. And I look at it like this here, man. If you could turn your head from a dishonorable man, that means you just as dishonorable as him. So you in the same boat as him, even if you don't participate in the activity, because you turning your head. So just like I say in Romans 1, you delight in them. How you gonna turn your head from dishonor like it ain't happening? I ain't slapping hands with no rat. I'm not slapping hands with no adulterer. I'm not fooling with you. I'm not. It's just like what it says in Psalms 50. It's a lot of dudes done came around here, man. And just like it said in Psalms 50, man, you altogether thought I was like you. He said, now I'm going to reprove you to your face. Because a lot of niggas be evil as hell and they think you on the same, because they don't really know you. So they think you on the same type of time they on until they get around you and they see, nah, bro, I'm not on that, bro. I'm not on what you on. I don't live like that. We don't do that over here, cuz. You smoking crack. Y'all have mercy on his soul, man. Like my man Crunch used to say, man. We real niggas. Straight from the collard green patch, bro. You know what I'm talking about? We'll say it like this here, man. We real Yahoudin. Straight from the vine, bro. We don't live like that. Straight from the vine, man. Real Yahoudin, but we don't live like that. We ain't got no time for pump faking and shaking, man. Boy, it's eternal life to get grabbed hold to. Got time to be fooled up with this nonsense. Isaiah 59:20, man. And the Redeemer shall come to Zion unto them that turn from transgression. And Jacob saith Yahuwah, as for me, this my covenant with them, saith Yahuwah, my ruach that is upon you, and my words that I've put in your mouth shall not depart out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your seed, nor out of the mouth of your seed, saith Yahuwah, from henceforth and forever. You see how this man said he made a covenant, and that covenant is the word would be in your mouth, and his ruach would be on you? We don't talk about that. That's what we were telling the brother Wednesday, man. That man ain't promised you no law. The law is not of promise. What promise you get from the law? You don't get no, that ain't no promise. He ain't promised Abraham law. He promised him a seed. He promised him a land. He promised to be his Elohim. He ain't promised him no law. When Adam and Eve sat down in that garden and took from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, they learned the law right then, and Adam went to teaching his seed after that. How you think Noah was perfect in his generations? How you think Enoch could walk with Elohim? How you think they was able to do that? Just on a whim? No, Adam had the law, and he taught it to him. Have you forgot that Adam was the son of Elohim, which means he was the priest of Elohim, the first apostle of Elohim, the first pastor of Elohim, because he had a son who was obedient and he had a wife. Oh, man. See, people don't be paying attention to this type of stuff, man. People just act like the law popped up. Man, these people really believe the law popped up when you got on Mount Sinai, man. Are you insane? People insane out here, man. Numbers 15 and 39, man. And it shall be unto you a friend that you may look upon and remember all the commandments of Yahuwah and do them, that you seek not after your own heart and your own eyes, after which you use to go a-whoring, that you may remember and do all my commandments and be kadosh unto your Elohim. I, Yahuwah, your Elohim, which brought you out of the land of Egypt to be your Elohim. I, Yahuwah, your Elohim. So, of course, you know they was in Egypt serving other gods. He said, I gave you this friend so you wouldn't go after your own heart and remember my word. And what did man turn around and told you? And let's take a look at John 16 and 13. Because remember, he said it wasn't good for man. Matter of fact, before we do that, Psalm 68. Psalm 68. And then John 16 and 13. Psalm 68. I referenced it earlier. I don't have that page in here any longer. So let me slide over here on this app because that page is gone. Psalm 68 and 18. You have ascended on high. You have led captivity captive. You have received gifts from men. Yea, the rebellious also, that Yahuwah Elohim might dwell. Baruch the Lord. Daily load, even the Elohim of our salvation. Our Elohim, the Elohim of salvation, unto Yahuwah the Lord, the issues of death. Now, we've talked about this Psalm 68 a lot of times, about that second part of it. I want you to look at what he said. First things first, we want to talk about what's being led captive. That is Sabah. You've been taken captive. You're taken captive. You're led captive. What has taken you captive? Sin has taken you captive. Because you're captive to death. You're in a state of captivity. You're a prisoner. He said you have received gifts from men. For the rebellious. Who are the rebellious? That is Sarar. That's those that are stubborn, refractory. You're backsliding. You're a revolter. You're hard-headed. Then it says, so Yahuwah might dwell with you, or a little Zebulon, for those who know what I'm talking about. That word for dwell is shakan. That is to dwell, to reside. So this man seeks to live in you, like he told you in Leviticus. Then he say, blessed be the Lord who daily load us. Well, what is he daily loading you with? When you look at load, it's a mas, and it's to load, to carry a load, to lay a load on, to load, to put. He's put something on you. Well, what does he put on you? A benefit. Well, what is the benefit? It's salvation, which is Yeshua. Salvation, deliverance. And then he said the Elohim of our salvation that belong from the issues of death. Well, what is the issues? At this particular point, it is totsa'ah, or the outgoing, the extremity, the end of the source, or an escape from death. So your Elohim give you an escape from death. It's literally what he tells you. He took captivity captive and received gifts from men, and then daily loads you with benefits, even salvation, and Yahuwah, your Elohim, gave you an escape from death. And we don't appreciate it. And we don't appreciate it. See, look at John 16 and 13. See, them fringes couldn't give you an escape from death. So he gave you something for you to remember his word and that you could escape from death. Let's look at John 14 and 26 because I opened up straight up to it. So I'll just go ahead and run that one. And then we'll slide to John 16 and 13. He said, but the Comforter, the Ruach HaKodesh, whom Abba will send in my name, he shall teach you all things and bring all things to your remembrance whatsoever I said unto you. And of course, you know, in John 15, he told you that the Ruach HaKodesh, or the Ruach of truth, which would come from the Abba, would bear witness and testify of him. Then John 16 and 13, he said, howbeit, when he, the Ruach of truth, is come, he will guide you into all truth, for he shall not speak of himself, but whatsoever he shall hear, shall he speak, and he will show you things to come. Now, what did you just read in Isaiah 59 and 21? He said, hey, man, this is the covenant that I made with you. The Ruach that's on you and the word that's in your mouth, it won't depart from out of your mouth, nor out of the mouth of your seed, nor out of the mouth of your seed from henceforth and forever. Meaning you'll never go a horn after your own heart. That means you will remember to do what he told you to do. Because he that is born of Elohim does not commit sin. He cannot sin. He is born of Elohim. You know what I'm talking about? Because he that commits sin is of the devil. See, let's go over here to John 8 and 40. Or John 8 and 38, really. Because remember, your father Abraham ain't wed no friends. He didn't. I'll read John 8 and 31 on general principle. He ain't had none. And Yahuwah declared to be righteous. He ain't had none. Not a one. Not now time that Abraham had to look at the bottom of his garment and say, let me not go after my own heart, because Yahuwah was in his heart. Why would he do such a thing? He was doing that for you because all you knew was whoredom. All you were doing was in Egypt worshiping other gods. You seen that in Yahushua son of Nun. He said, man, don't worship them gods you worshiped over there. You ain't know nothing but how to be a whore. You ain't know nothing but how to be unfaithful to God. You ain't never been faithful to God in your life. You know, the fringes is akin to a wedding ring. Because, you know, technically you're supposed to look at a wedding ring and remember you got a husband and you got a wife. But of course, you know, a wedding ring in this society has bandied about to many other things. But guess what? If you ain't wearing no wedding ring, you still know you got a husband. If you ain't got no wedding ring on, you know, if you have to look at your wedding ring and say, let me not cheat on my husband, then that man ain't in your heart anyway. Because whether you had one on or not, you know you got a husband. Because it's supposed to be in you, not on you. The main kingdom's supposed to be in you, not on you. You can't wear his kingdom. His dominion, how you gonna have his dominion on you? His dominion's supposed to be in you before you can ever walk through the gates. What? God have mercy on our souls. Because, boy, Yahuwah knows, boy, we need all the mercy we can get. We don't even realize this here, right? Because we feel like there's so many people out here preaching the word, but most of them are trash. We need more services. Truth be told, most brothers don't even preach the word that often. Man, if you only have service once a week, man, that means the people only hearing the word 52 times a year, not counting no feast days. Man, the Levite preached every day. Now, of course, I ain't saying that individuals got to preach every day, but what one time a week gonna do for the souls of the people, man? Do you not understand what people be going through from week to week? I think sometimes as a people, man, because you done got caught up because you went to church so often and that junk was trash, that you don't realize this people, boy, they be longing for that word. And 7 days from word to word is a long time because they looking for it. They need it. Because they know with the word, they got him. We try to ridicule people for that. You know what I'm saying? When you got the word, man, you want Yahuwah. When you seeking Yahuwah, you seeking his face. You seek his face through the word so you can see him. so you could experience him, so you could know him. But we need word every day, man. There's people out here down bad, bro. There's people out here hurting, man, in a multitude of ways, man. There's people out here, spirits crying out for God every day. Some of y'all was like that. I know it's been times that I ain't even know that my spirit was yearning for this man. I ain't even know what it was. I told you, I can remember my spirit telling me, boy, you got to understand this book. I ain't know what that meant. I'm 17 years old, man. I'm not understanding that. I'm not understanding none of that. You got people, man, they soul groaning, man. They ain't even uttering these words with their own heart, man. They ruach uttering to this man, groaning for this man. They don't even know him, but deep down they inward man say, boy, I need my maker. And we out here arguing about doctrine and talking all this stupid stuff, man. And then people out here soul being destroyed. They need the good news, man, so they can have joy in their heart, so they can go off and serve their God, and we don't give a damn. We want to give them doctrine and businesses and all this type of stuff. What that's going to do for their soul, bro? That's not what these people want. That's not what these people want. That's not what these people want, man. And some of y'all were the people who I'm talking about. That your soul was yearning for this man. You ain't want all this other stuff these people were offering. You just went along with it because that's what you thought you were supposed to do till you heard the shepherd's voice, and then you realized you were listening to the wrong people. Let me get to my God, because that's it. Let me tell you something, boy. You know the voice of God when you hear it, and when you hear it, you're gone. Because I know I heard I was gone. I was gone. I ain't care about nothing. I ain't care about nothing. You know what I'm talking about? Literally, I ain't care about nothing. I need to learn this, man. I just say all this stuff so you can experience, if you ain't experiencing, that you can taste and know that Yahuwah is good. That's all. Because he good, man. And he faithful. And he just. You know what I'm talking about? He ain't going to leave you out here sideways, man. He wants you to be good, man. He wants you to be saved. He wants you to live forever. He wants you to come in his family, man. That's his desire. It brings him good pleasure. We just read it. It's your Father good pleasure to give you dominion, to give you the kingdom, to give you the Malkuth. He want to give it to you, bro. He want to give it to you, man. Praise Elohim, man. Because we ain't nothing without him, I can tell you that. John 8:31, man. Then said Yahushua to those Yahudim which believed on him, if you continue in my word, are you my disciples indeed? And you shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free. They answered him, we be Abraham's seed. We were never in bondage to any man. How say you, you shall be made free? Yahushua answered them, truly, truly, I say unto you, whosoever commits sin is the servant of sin. Let me tell y'all something, man. You can't teach no word to be sinning, bro. How you going to be a servant of God and a servant of sin? You can't serve two masters, bro. You can't teach no word of you out here sinning, bro. You can't do it. You can't do it. Can't do it. Ain't no way you can do it, boy. You trying to spit out fresh water and salt water at the same time, bro. That's not how that works. You can't do that. Sit your behind down somewhere, get yourself together. How you going to speak of righteousness and you live unrighteously? Get yourself together. You can't jump out here and try to teach some people some stuff, boy. You just stopped beating your meat last week. You just stopped smoking reefer yesterday. You ain't got enough time under your belt to have the discipline, the committed discipline to say that you done overcame that. Sit down somewhere and get yourself together. Ain't no shame in getting yourself together, man. You ain't helping nobody by trying to teach something that you ain't mastered. How you going to give somebody some word and you ain't mastered your flesh? How you going to do that? You going to give somebody the words of faith and your faith weak. How you going to do that, bro? You're not helping, you hurting the people. You think you helping, but you really destroying the people because you are not an exemplary example of Elohim. He said, like watered salad. That sounds horrible. You know what I'm talking about? To have a watered salad? That sounds like that would suck considerably. Verse 35, John chapter 8. And the servant abide not in the house forever, the son abide forever. See what he told you? Sinners ain't dwelling. Go see Psalms 101. If the Son therefore shall make you free, you shall be free indeed. I know that you're Abraham's seed, but you seek to kill me because my word have no place in you. Understand, man, when these people come to kill you about their word, man, it's because his word ain't got no place in them. It's nowhere for it to dwell. They can't be subject to his dominion. That's why they don't speak of his kingdom. It's a passage in this book. He said, man, I will speak of your righteousness and your righteousness only. You think speaking of his righteousness and talking about his law. Man, Yahuwah greater than his law. Before he gave you a law, he was Yahuwah. Yahuwah is not his law. Yahuwah is gracious and merciful, abundant in goodness and truth, long-suffering, forgiving sin and iniquity, who delight in justice and judgment and righteousness. That's who Yahuwah is. Yahuwah is not thou shalt not eat pork. Yahuwah is you shouldn't have sex with a man. That's who Yahuwah is, boy. He said, I speak that which I seen with my Abba, and you do that which you seen with your Abba. They answered and said unto him, Abraham is our Abba. Yahushua said unto them, if you were Abraham's sons, you would do the works of Abraham. Now you seek to kill me, a man that told you the truth, which I've heard of Elohim. This did not Abraham. That man told you, man, if you were the seed of Abraham, you do the works of Abraham. Man, Abraham did the works of faith, bro. That's what he did. He showed forth a pattern of faith. What you show? He showed forth the kingdom of God just by that, from the exemplary life of faith of which he led. Habakkuk chapter 2, man, verse 2. But we don't be considering that because you scared to be showed forth you a Christian, man. Get your booty hurt behind out that church house. Some of you niggas wasn't even real members in no church. You wasn't really showing up. You were there to get hoes and get free food or whatever else they had going on. You ain't have no position in no ministry. You ain't dedicate no time or no resources to nothing them people had going on. You knew regardless of what they were teaching, if they were teaching right or teaching wrong, you were going home to do wrong, and you knew that's what you were going home to do. You try to use them people as a crutch to justify the wicked intent of your heart that you still had to this day. And you feel like you're justified in it. Leave them people alone, man. They have no consequence, no concern to you. If you more focus on showing forth the righteousness of Elohim, you'll pull more people out of church than talking about how evil and how wicked and how bad their teachings is when they turn around and look at some of these brews and see your teachings just as trash and y'all doing the same thing. You don't even see the day to look at that and say, hell no, I don't want to be fooled up with y'all. Because you worry about the wrong thing. I done told y'all, brother, this for years, man. Don't talk about it, bro. Just live it. Just live it. Just live it, man. You know what I'm saying? Sojourn your time here peacefully and quietly in the fear of Elohim and serving and worshiping in the beauty of Kadash. You know what I'm talking about? And the faith of Elohim, and let them see that. Soon when they turn around and see you, then they ask questions. Well, what it is y'all got going on over there? Well, what y'all learning? I'm intrigued. You ain't got to sit back and go so hard about proving somebody a liar. Just prove that Yahuwah is the truth. That's all you got to do. You ain't got to prove Yahuwah is the truth by having a doctrinal battle. Prove Yahuwah is the truth by being born again, and they can see it in the way you conduct yourself, how you live your life. Let that reign. Doctrinal disputes and debates is for your own pride. You ain't doing that for the Lord. Who you think you fooling, man? You fooling yourself. You doing that for your own vainglory. You ain't doing that for him. You just say you're doing that for him to make yourself feel better about the goofy junk you doing. See, you can run that junk on somebody who don't know no better, but a man who's an adult male, a grown man in the mind and in the ruach, he know what you doing. That's not for Yahuwah. That's for you. That's not for him. The book say he that wins souls is wise. You ain't winning nobody. You ain't winning no souls with that. That means if you win souls as wise, that means you got skill. Let me show you the verse I'm talking about so you can see the words on it, man. Proverbs chapter 11, man. Proverbs 11:30, man. The fruit of the righteous, a tree of life. He that wins souls is wise. Notice that he said the fruit or the produce of the righteous is the tree of life. The tree of life is representative of faith. And when you eat from the tree of life, you live forever. He said that's the product of the righteous, man. Why is that the product of the righteous? Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2. And Yahuwah answered me and said, write the vision and make plain upon the tables that he may run that read it. For the vision, yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie, though it tarry. Wait for it. Because it will surely come, it will not tarry. Behold, his soul is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. That's what the book say. That's not what I say. He said righteous live by the faith. He didn't say the righteous live by the law. He said they live by their faith. And because they have the righteous obedience of faith, they keep his law. It's not that hard to figure out. If you trust in his promises, of course, you're going to keep his instructions. Man, one thing, man, and I've been telling y'all this for quite a few months because it be in my mind a lot, man. Stop worrying about the Christian church and proving them people wrong, man. You know, if you believe the Christian church is a place of idolatry, you ain't never see no prophet or no brew so focused on tearing that down unless it was like with Elijah, a battle. If you let you standing there saying, hey, man, if Yahuwah be Elohim, serve him. If Baal be Elohim, serve him. How long you halt between two opinions? But that's not what's going down right now. You just go preach the word, man. You got dudes be posting up across the street from these people church. Wait, you think you really finna win a soul with that, bro? The people gonna be defensive off top. You completely unskilled and unwise. You don't even know how, man, human beings are creatures of habit, and they're defensive by nature when you attack the things that they believe and hold fast to. They're gonna automatically get defensive and shut down. You're supposed to know human nature enough to know that. You're supposed to have enough sense to know this is not going to be profitable. Because you're not doing that to win no souls out the church. You're doing that to feel like you got a victory out the church because your booty hurt from whatever you claim you experienced there. How you butt hurt from what the church did and you knew you was evil as hell whether you were going to that church or not? You know you ain't had no intent on serving God. Who you lying to? I done told y'all that plenty of time. And my homeboy said, yeah, boy, I ain't selling no dope on Sunday, boy. That's the Lord day. I say, nigga, we sell dope 6 days a week. Now you want to talk about you want to not sell dope for God? I'll be out here tomorrow. Nigga, if I'm sending 6 days a week, what's the difference of making it 7? I remember Fat Boy told me, man, one time, I forgot what they were going to go do, man. I think he was going to go catch a pop or something. And he said something about God do this. And somebody said, don't be calling on God when you're going to do the work of the devil. He said it through him. I wasn't present because I didn't tell the story how he told it because I can't remember all the details. You know what I'm saying? I be forgetting stuff. But it was something that was the gist of it. They was like, don't be calling on God when you're going to do the work of the devil. That's how we be living, man. Even if knowing you Israelite, you want to call on Yahuwah when you know you're going to do the work of the devil. And committing sin is the work of the devil. That's what you want to do. And you feel like you delivered to do it. Because you an Israelite. He going to deliver you to hell. That's what he going to do. Because he said, you got me all the way messed up. You don't represent me. You represent yourself and trying to put my name on it. Don't you know this man say they swear by the name of Yahuwah, but not in truth and not in righteousness? Just because you mentioning this man's name don't mean you doing it in truth. You sure as doodles think you ain't doing it in righteousness if you around here living contrary. Don't you know this man law say if you walk contrary to him, he got to walk contrary to you? That don't bother you? And when I say it don't bother you, not that you like, oh man, I'm going to go to hell, but like, dang, boy, if I'm walking opposite to him, he got to walk opposite to me. I don't want him to walk opposite to me because I want to be here with him. That's why I said that don't bother you. See, as Bruce, we don't like to talk about that, man. We don't like to talk about that. All we want to talk about, we going to get the kingdom. You ain't going to get nothing. You keep living how you living. You definitely ain't going to get it. You ain't got his spirit. How you going to get it? You ain't got his spirit. How you getting in? This is the kingdom of heaven. That means everybody there is got eternal life. If you ain't got a spirit, that means you ain't got eternal life. But how you getting in? There's a lot of things we don't consider. When we look at win souls, win is lakak, which is again, it's just to fetch, to lay hold of, to seize, to capture. You know what I'm talking about? You're trying to snatch away, to take a wife, to marry, to acquire. We're trying to acquire Nephash for Yahuwah, man. And of course, the word here, man, kakam, man, skill and technical work. Shrewd, crafty, cunning, wily, subtle, shrewd, a learned man. You got to be a learned man to win souls, bro. Go back to what we were talking about with the builders with the sword on their side and the men being experts in war. To win souls, bro, you got to be a learned man, bro. You got to be skilled, man. You know what I'm talking about? You know what he said at the beginning. What did the beginning of regulator say? He say, we mean to, skilled with it. Got to put in that word. But it's late, man. We're going to stop right here, man. Hallelujah for Yahushua in the word, man. I appreciate y'all time. I ain't even get to Daniel, Romans 14, or none of that. Y'all willing, we do it tomorrow. I appreciate y'all, man. I love y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. You know what I'm saying? Again, for the brothers who I spoke with today to know what we had to get done and transpire, man. Whether you were able or if you could have been able, if you weren't able, but you would have if you were able, and those who were able, man, you know, Yahuwah Baruch you and requite you. You know what I'm talking about? And I appreciate you. You know what I'm talking about? But nevertheless, man, you know what I'm talking about? Yeah, man. Just weigh and consider, man. We got an opportunity before our face, man. So great, so precious. You know what I'm saying? Just weigh and consider it, man. He giving us an opportunity, bro. He giving us an opportunity, man, the opportunity that I never thought a day in my life that I would even have access to, because it was never at the forefront of my mind. Because I wasn't looking for Yahuwah. I wasn't looking for no word. I wasn't thinking about no word or none of that. Nigga, I'm fresh out of the penitentiary, man. I'm doing 4.5 years, man. I'm talking about, man, I'm trying to get some money, bro. Get out my mama house, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm 28 years old, man. I just wasted 4.5 years of my life, nigga. I done failed as a man, bro. I went to prison. I failed. Ain't no way to spend that. I failed. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to get back right. And the Lord came and sought me out and say, bring your black behind on, boy. And I say, boy, I'm gone, boy. I gotta save my soul, man. I gotta live, bro. I'm gone, bro. I'm out of here. Now, some of y'all, that might not be your testimony, man. Your testimony very been you were yearning for him, you were looking for him, and you found him. And that's just as commendable, man. We ain't all got to have the same story, man. That doesn't mean that I'm greater or anything of that nature. I said that to say that that's the grace and mercy of Yahuwah. Because he chose to show mercy when I wasn't looking for the mercy. It's one thing if y'all were looking for it, y'all was really on a better track than I was because you were looking for it. You knew you needed it. You just didn't know how you were going to come across it. But you were scrambling. You were looking for it. Is it over here? Is it over there? Is it under here? Is it by there? And he said, you know what? Because you diligently seeking my mercy, let me show it to you. Boy, I ought to die and went to hell. Boy, I ain't even have no concept or thought of no mercy, man. I ain't had no concept or no thought. That wasn't nothing into my brain. Matter of fact, I say that to say this. All of y'all on this clubhouse, all of y'all on this YouTube screen, anybody who watch this video and get to this point, this late in the video, we all know each other and interact with one another and are intertwined with each other because of Yahuwah. That's it. So knowing that Yahuwah has the ability to bring an eclectic group of people from all walks of life in different areas of this earth together for one common cause, which is his everlasting word of salvation, understand how good he is and seize that opportunity. Because this is an opportunity of a lifetime. An opportunity of a lifetime, man. There's no greater opportunity than everlasting salvation. There's no greater opportunity. No greater. You know what I'm saying? It's no greater. Because I already know this. You ain't here because of me. You here because you heard the word and you believe that was Yahuwah speaking to you and you were seeking him. You ain't here because of me, because I ain't nobody but an unprofitable servant doing what it is to my duty to do. I tell y'all once, I tell you twice, I tell you 3 times. Well, you're supposed to be listening to the voice of the shepherd. I don't care where you go. I ain't the only man on the earth who preach the word. You know what I'm talking about? Always make sure you listening for the voice of the shepherd. Listen for the voice of Elohim. If you hear the voice of Yahuwah, then you know Yahuwah is in that spot. Don't listen for rhetoric. Don't listen for doctrine. Don't listen for nationality. Don't listen for finance and economics. Listen for the voice of Yahuwah. That's who you're supposed to be listening for. And the voice of Yahuwah going to do exactly what it said in Hosea. He going to speak comfortably to you, meaning he going to speak to your heart. That word supposed to speak to your inward man. It's supposed to touch him. If that word ain't touching your inward man, that ain't you, bro. And that book, that man said, I'm going to speak to your heart. That's what he said in several places. He said, I'm going to speak comfortably to you. I'm going to speak to your left. That's what he said. I'm going to speak to your inward man. That's what Mashiach meant when he said, those that are mine hear my voice and they follow me, because he's speaking to your inward man. And he told you in Jeremiah, he would draw you with loving kindness. He going to draw you with the mercy, man. That's what he said he going to draw you with. He didn't say he was going to draw you with nothing other but loving kindness and speak to your heart. Anybody tell you any different, they lying on God, because that's what the book say. That ain't what I say. That's not my personal opinion. That's what the book say. You gonna go with what the word say? You gonna go with what Yahuwah say? Or you gonna go with what you want him to say? Or what you want him to, or what you want to think? Or what you want to feel? But you talking about Christians all day, every day. But you doing the same thing to support what it is that you want to do in Yahuwah's name, blaspheming his righteousness. We got to stop doing that, bro. It's not the move, bro. It's not the move, bro. It's not. We better than this. We better than this. Every one of you men on here, you better than that. If you weren't better than this, why would Yahuwah have you here? And when I say here, I'm not talking about on this screen. I'm talking about here as forth and standing before his face, seeking worship at his throne. Why would he have you here? Think about that, man. Y'all got kids, man. They got an opportunity to live a life free from idolatry and sin that you didn't get to get as a child. You don't want them to have that? You so focused that they can have a childhood like these sinners out here that you ain't understanding that they getting the opportunity that you didn't get to get as a child? Who gives a damn about going to a park? Who gives a damn about all this here? They got something that your parents could never give you. They got eternal life. But we worry about making sure they can do the stuff these sinner children doing. Them sinner children gonna do that, then they gonna go to hell. Your kids ain't got to do what these wicked people out here doing, man. They got something that these people will never have. They got Yahuwah. Now again, let me say that. That don't mean that you can't do X, Y, Z for your children. Please don't mean that I'm saying that they can't participate in that. I'm talking about perspective. I'm just talking about perspective. Ain't nothing wrong. You want to take them niggas to Disneyland or this, that, that, and the third, if that's what you want to do. You know what I'm saying? You want to take them to do, you know what I'm saying? Slide down the water slide. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do. You want to take them to the football game so they can see somebody get they you know what I'm saying? They snot box bubbled up. You know what I'm saying? That's your business. And if you don't want to do that, that's your business. See, we get caught up on the wrong stuff, man. Man, hey man, if it ain't a sin against God, do what you want. You know what I'm saying? Some people, I know a lot of brews, man. I done heard when I first got the word brew, like it's a sin to watch sports. I'm like, come on, bro, what's wrong with you? If you don't want to watch it, bro, don't watch it. That's your business. I ain't finna castigate this, man. If that's not what you're into, bro, that's not what you're into. Nigga tell you sinning for watching the football game, he in the bathroom playing with himself. Telling lies and getting drunk. But you feel like you better because you don't watch basketball. You know what I'm saying? See, the problem coming at is if that football game or that basketball game consume your life the way you put it before Yahuwah. That's when it's a problem. I done heard dudes poke at people for lifting weights. Because let's be honest with you, bro. A majority of the things that we do, you ain't going to do in the kingdom of God. That don't mean you're sinning and you can't do it. You're not going to be lifting weights in the kingdom. Is you a sinner because you're lifting weights? You ain't going to be jogging in the kingdom either. You know what I'm talking about? Shoot, you ain't going to be having sex in the kingdom of heaven. Should you stop having sex now? Because that made me think about the old GMS boy, old Mr. Jackson. You got bruised really think you're going to be in the presence of the almighty Abba, pulling your wee-wee out and putting it in the woman. You know how stupid you got to believe to think you're going to be in the presence of a sanctified Elohim Abba? Not Yahushua, not Yahuwah. His Abba. You think you're going to be out here pulling your wee-wee out, bro? Ejaculating, bro? You stupid. You stupid if you think that. Like you is retarded. But you're not pulling out no wee-wee, boy. That's not going down. God help us all. Because Yahuwah knows we need it. And I pray he strengthen every last one of y'all. You know what I'm saying? And again, man, I bless y'all at the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua, man. I love y'all, appreciate y'all, man. Yahuwah willing, man, you know, same bad time, man, same bad channel, man. Yahuwah willing, you know, sometime between 2:30 and 3, man, we make it do what it do. You know what I'm saying? And for those of y'all who in the city, if you know the background in this stream, well, I guess you know where you better have your black behind the mar then. You know what I'm talking about? Outside of that, y'all hold it down, man. You know what I'm talking about? Keep on pushing and keep on grinding, man. You know what I'm saying? Keep on pushing and keep on grinding, man. It's worth it. It's worth it. It ain't a vain thing for you, man. It's your life. And Yahuwah is not unrighteous to reward you for your labor of love, man. Just keep on grinding, man. Just keep on grinding, man. It worth it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all willing, man, till tomorrow, man. We make it do what it do. Yes, sir. Clubhouse, man, y'all ain't got nothing for me, man. I'm going to holler at you, man.